Rumble, YouTube, family. What's good? Ironwork 92,000 in the house for True Earth Tuesday. We're doing it live tonight, and we got a special True Earth Tuesday on for y'all tonight, all right? So first off, we're going to introduce Sav Soul. My man's done a marathon. He done did like 3 shows already. Tonight's going to be the third, right here. And we're going to get him. We're going to get him in. Let me not even introduce him. We know who he is. We know what he do. Everybody, Sav Soul. Sav Soul, you in the house right now.
What up, all? What's good?
It's always good to have these people, our family. You know what I'm saying? And oh my goodness, Lord have mercy.
Uh-oh, what happened?
It's here. It's official. So, family, welcome. We know y'all know who it is. And we also have Buttered Biscuits. He's going to be joining us tonight. And we're going to be talking about some serious stuff, right? As y'all know, first of all, let me say thank you. Thank you for coming. All right. Thank you for coming. Now that I got that out the way. Thank you, Sovereign Soul, Buttered Biscuits, also for joining us here tonight because this
again.
You muted, brother.
y'all already know it ain't no Ironworks show without bad internet. You know what I'm saying? So but hey, y'all know what it is. It's going to be pretty serious tonight because we're trying to plug in some holes. We're trying to patch up some cracks because we got some nonsense going on here in the community. So first off, you know, you guys don't have to hate him, right? He may not be of the true earth and the flat earth, and he may not think like we do, but that doesn't mean you have to disrespect him or you have to hate him. Okay. So we've got Will Duffy in the house. This man is an author.
I had Noelle was still live on my channel. I just exited the studio. I didn't end the stream. She was out there all by herself.
Oh my Lord. So we've got Will Duffy in the house. My man is an author. He has penned books like you know, mortgages, 12 truths about home buying you'll never learn from a bank, compound interest, 10 financial truths to protect your wealth, the other side of the coin, right? Roths for the rich, how to fund your Roth with over $100,000 a year. So it's not as if this dude is a new jack. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't do these fuck games or anything like that. Excuse my language. But he does. It seems as if he takes his craft seriously. How did he wind up in what we consider this debate between the true and the flat earth and the globe earth as well? Well, that's what he's here tonight to answer. And so we're going to fix some things. We're going to discuss some things. We're going to get down to the bottom of it. And so without further ado, let me stop popping my gums, man. Will Duffy, welcome.
Hey, so glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
You bet, man. I appreciate you being here. Thank you.
Absolutely.
All right. So, Will, I saw you in a live stream the other day, and I don't necessarily agree with how you with what you believe in. That's fine, right? However, I'm not necessarily going to sit here and of course I'm freezing. Am I freezing? Oh, I'm not going to sit here and I'm not going to disrespect you. That's not what we're here for tonight. We're going to discuss these things. We're going to get down to the bottom of what needs to get down to the bottom of, right? I'm going to be real with you. I'm going to put this out there in the open, all right? I'm going to be honest with you. We're going to be honest with you. If anything, this part of the flat earth, true earth community, we don't lie. We don't cut corners with people, and we keep it real, and we keep things open. We don't think that you of the globe community do that. We don't think that you guys play fair. But at the end of the day, as I've mentioned before, it's not about playing fair. It's about who's the bigger fish and who's going to eat who. So it seems as if the globe people have more numbers, and so they try to eat us. But nothing beats the truth at the end of the day. And you are apparently, I didn't include this, but apparently you're a pastor. I've just learned about this. So Pastor Will, again, welcome. So yeah, we're gonna test you, man. We're gonna ask you some hard and heavy. I'm serious. We're gonna ask you some serious questions, and so we're not doing anything to disrespect you, but we are here, and this is a fact finding mission, right? Most of us are young here, right? So we have a little bit of life, and this isn't just for you. This isn't just for tonight, but this is for the future. This is for our children as well. And I'm gonna land my plane with that. Sav, Buttered, y'all got anything?
Well, I'll let you go ahead and lead out with it. I've got my own questions I'll come to when we get to that portion of it. But go ahead and lead out with the questions you've got initially.
Okay.
And
all right.
Likewise.
you know, in what regards, whether it's biblical cosmology, whether it's the actual trip itself, where do you want to start with?
All right, you got it. All right, family, guys, if you have any questions, okay, if you have any questions, it's going to be $2 a question. It's like, let me stop. It ain't going to be no money. If y'all got any questions in the chat, listen, make sure you could hit Shift 8, right? Excuse me. Hold on. Let me make sure that's the right button. If you hit Shift 8, it'll give you an asterisk. Just hit Shift 8 3 times and then just type in your question, just so that if I go to the chat, I can easily identify what is a question. All right, especially if they're like a serious question, something that you want to get over to us and or to Will. I hope I made myself clear. It's going to look like this. So you guys in the chat, and then it's going to be blah, 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 and then question. Capiche? Just like that. It's going to look just like that. The asterisks. Anyway, so Will, again, I can't say enough. Welcome. I'm sure you have a pretty crazy schedule. Thank you for coming here and being here tonight to get down to the bottom of this. So let's start off first by telling us about how you got to where you are, because these guys know you as a finance man. They know you as the money guy, right? But now you found yourself within the company of the globe and the true earth. How did we get here? Talk to me.
Yeah, great question. So I have a friend. Her name is Wendy, and many of you have probably interacted with her, would be my guess. And she posted on Facebook in late 2021 about flat Earth. And at the time, I thought flat Earth was a joke. I didn't think anybody took that seriously. I thought the Flat Earth Society was just like a mock organization, which is probably true. But she wasn't joking. She was serious. And she had comments from other flat earthers that were serious. And I was like, wait, what is going on here? So I just started interacting with her and found out she was a flat earther. And most people at that moment are going to just either unfriend her or just ignore her or whatever. But that's not who I am. Right. I've got to know, A, why someone believes what they do. And then B, if I disagree with them, I like to debate and give them arguments and come up with things that they haven't heard of before. So I started interacting with her. She gave me links to YouTube videos and articles and memes and the whole 9 yards. Next thing I knew, I was in flat Earth stuff every single day.
That was the first you'd heard of flat Earth, really? Or, you know, when did you first become aware that there was, you know, people out there that believed the Earth was flat? Was it 2021?
What year was it that it happened? Sorry.
I mean, this was the first you'd heard of it, really, was 2021, not before?
It was the first time where I knew someone personally that actually believed this, and then was introduced to, you know, YouTube channels and people that actually believed it. So Dave Weiss was kind of my first foray into flat Earth, and I watched hours of his content.
Okay. So then would you say that, of course, I'm going to assume that you were of the globe. So then were you starting to go in the camp of the flat or true Earth? Were you starting to like kind of find yourself on the fence or?
So, yeah, let me give you guys a good answer to this. So Wendy refuted my arguments.
Okay.
And she knew more about the globe than I did. And this is probably common. You guys have probably experienced this. You have somebody who's a glober. They come to you And they quickly learn you know more about their model than they do, because we just really aren't educated on this. And so that's really where I had to stop and think and say, okay, I really need to research this. I'm talking about things that I don't understand. Okay. And then there was a pivotal moment for me, and I have no idea who this was. It was a random person online, probably on Facebook. And he said that there was a picture on NASA's website of the Earth from space with duplicated clouds. And I learned early on that you can't trust memes. So I would research memes and find them to be wrong often. But he said it was on NASA's website, and he gave a link. So I clicked the link. It was NASA's real website. It wasn't a fake website. And there was literally duplicated clouds on this image that I could see with my own eyes. That is the moment I first thought, okay, there's something here. I don't know what it is, but there's something here that doesn't make sense. And so I gave an honest look to flat Earth. I was open to it.
Surprisingly.
But after spending the time that I did doing my research, I came out still on the globe side.
Okay. Listen. Okay. So then, wow. You still came out on the globe side, even after learning of all this stuff. You're still of the globe. And listen, I'm not trying to make you switch over. That's not my job. No. I'm just trying to clear things up.
What was the top thing that convinced you of Earth being a globe in space? What was the top thing for you? I mean, because we've discussed this before. If nobody had ever told you that you lived on a spinning globe, your rationality and your thought process would never even go in the direction of thinking such a thing based on any observations or any experiences that you have. So we do know that this is something that has to be told to us. What was it that was so evident that would make you believe that the Earth was a globe and not as we experience it, motionless and level?
Yeah. So the big thing for me, and I've said this in the past, was the Himawari, the Japanese weather satellite.
The Japanese weather satellite. So somebody told you that they had a thing way out in space that gives you weather patterns.
It's the Japanese. I'm sorry to interrupt. It's that Japanese weather satellite, correct?
Yeah,
that's right.
Okay, yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So that right there was the convincing thing, knowing full well that it is easy for someone to take Doppler radar data, convert it through a computer into weather patterns that they're reflecting, and then paste that over an image. So there's a lot easier ways to do that than sending some little magic garbage can out into space. That's pretty flimsy as far as a convincing thing. I mean, convincing to me would be something that's actually convincing. All the time, what I find with people with the globe is they say, okay, well, let's find out if the Earth is a globe or not. And they say, okay, let's look at the sky. Well, okay, why are we looking at the sky again? What is the sky going to tell you about the condition of where you stand? Nothing.
This is a good question, and this is like a staple in the True Earth community's bank of questions. How does what's in the sky determine what's under our feet? You understand? And like I said, Will, I just want you to think of these things, and I'm serious. I'm not here to mess with you, attack you, or anything like that. We have a lot of questions, and rightfully so. You're on here possibly to some other continent, right?
Oh, he froze up on us again.
I froze up again. Oh, Lord have mercy. I got that dial up.
It's the penguins, man. The penguins are messing with the stream. I'm telling you right now. See?
So,
all right, come on.
Are we here? Yeah. So lives are on the line potentially. So, and you have a group of people that believe that you guys are going to, right? You have a group of people that believe that there's potentially a false sun out there. And we have our evidence to back these things up. Not saying that this is what's going to happen, but we've been so many lies. Who's to say that you're not in the camp of the liars? I don't care if you've got pastor in front of your name. I don't care if you had president or king or sir or ma'am or lady, right?
Mhm.
But we've seen far too many times where we get fooled, we get tricked, and so on and so forth. And how do we know that you're not going to be one of those people lying and tricking? And I'm gonna follow that up, but go ahead, please.
Yeah. So you mentioned at the very beginning that you don't think a lot of the people on the globe side are fair. And so this is
Or honest
one
for
area.
that matter.
Huh?
Or honest for that matter.
Okay, fair enough. This is one of the areas where I think myself and the final experiment shines, is I created this to be as fair and honest as possible. And if I was trying to hide something or lie about something, I would not invite flat earthers and offer to pay for them.
Then why would you hide it?
What do you mean?
Did you not hide it?
I hid it temporarily, just like a surprise party, but the goal the entire time was to make it known to as many people as possible.
Okay.
Well, here's where I've got kind of a dilemma with this. Okay. One, I find it highly strange that all of a sudden 2024 is the year that everybody's deciding that this is going to be the deciding factor. Okay. This right here is going to decide it once and for all. For some reason, an observation of the sky is going to suddenly make water convex, and it's suddenly going to make a gas pressure system without containment possible. No, I don't see that. Why all of a sudden in 2024 are all these people of notoriety also deciding that they're going to go? An astronaut who's already been to space, right? An astronaut who's already been to space. An actor who played an astronaut who's supposedly already been to space.
Thank you.
Right? And Neil deGrasse Tyson, just to name a couple of these other people that are talking about this. All of a sudden in 2024, when we've already had established bases in Antarctica since the very early part of the 20th century, don't you think that if this were something that by now there would be empirical evidence and proof of it, and there would be no discussion, there would be no controversy whatsoever? Okay, so I'm just saying, is it going to really dispel any controversy? I don't believe that it will, because what's to say that anybody's going to believe anything anybody says that comes back from this?
Well, that's going to be your choice. But the reason we're going to have multiple people there is to hold each other accountable. We're going to be taking videos. We're going to be taking pictures. And once we bring back all of this evidence, whatever the evidence shows, if somebody decides they want to disregard it, it's going to look pretty bad, I think.
Well, why hasn't anybody done this over the last 100 years of having people in Antarctica?
Done what?
Recorded this 24-hour sun and given us actual footage. Look, nobody fakes a 24-hour sun time lapse in the north. Nobody fakes that.
Right.
Right? Nobody fakes that.
And everybody has.
But wait a second, we do have fake ones that have been admittedly shown to be fake from the south. Now, my statement is this, just like with the spacecraft, right? If you have to, if something's real, you should never have to fake it at all. Okay, that's the reality of that one right there. And the thing is I can't see that, given the amount of people that have been there and an established company that's been there who could have easily have done this over the course of years that they've been there in Antarctica, right? They could have easily have done this, give an actual 24-hour video time lapse of the sun, you know, all that shit, right? And if there's people out there that still don't believe it, well, then to hell with them. Who cares? Who cares? We have empirical proof. And as you stated in a comment to me, you said, well, what if I could show you video of a 24-hour sun in Antarctica? Well, if you already have a video of 24-hour sun in Antarctica and it's good enough for you, why would you give a crap about it in the first place? Especially at the tune of this expense. That's what really, I'm sorry, I'm from outside Detroit. And when somebody comes along and says, hey, free goodies, no strings attached, I'm like, what's behind this? What's behind this?
My whole family's from Detroit, by the way.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Now, I grew up in Pontiac. You ever heard of it?
Absolutely. My family's from West Bloomfield Township.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Right down the road.
Yeah, I know what you're
right.
talking about. Right
Hey
on.
man, I dig the family reunion, man. That's what's up. That's what's up. But
Hey, so we're
we
both in
still
the
got questions for
810.
you, man. Hey,
Hey,
hey, hey,
we both from the 810. So
all right. So check this out, man. So now this is the thing. At the end of the day, you are a financier. And this is what we see. You as a financier. We don't hear you. We don't hear people like Fight the Flat Earth. We don't hear McToon. We don't hear McKeegan, and we don't hear Simon Dan or Dave, fake, prostitute Dave. Right? We don't hear these dudes talking about anything about the vax. We don't hear y'all talking about how the government is corrupt. All of these things which are facts. We don't hear you talking about these pedophiles out there, right? All of these things which are actual facts. But you guys want to harp on the globe, and you guys want to spend and dedicate so much time to the globe and invest so much time on the globe and the flat earth in this contest that it's almost as if you guys have blinders. But then I take a step back and then I'm looking at it and I feel as if your endeavor is full of nothing but deceit.
Mm.
And then you couple that with the fact that you're a financier.
What deceit are you referring to?
What deceit? Well, you're paying for this trip. You're financing this trip.
Uh-huh.
And so I didn't say that you have deceived anybody. I'm not saying that.
And you hit it to promote it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the seed.
And is there anything wrong with that?
Yes, because why would you not be true if you're a Christian? I mean, that is.
Don't pull that shit with me. I'm sorry.
Yeshua himself, Jesus
sorry,
himself said, nothing is hidden from you. Nothing, right? Did he hide anything from the Pharisees, from anybody?
Oh,
if he did, would there have been something wrong? Yes or no?
Yes, Jesus hid things.
What?
You're making
parables.
No. You don't know because they're hidden.
I believe. Well, hold on. If you're going to challenge me on this, I'm gonna push back. I believe it's John 7. Jesus' brothers asked him to go somewhere with him, and he said, "No, it's not my time." And then he went in secret. So this argument's not going to work.
No, he left in secret because he was trying to get away from those that were prosecuting and perpetrating the deceit. Yes. Right.
Okay. All right. Now that's Jesus.
Hold on. Sorry. I got to push back.
Okay. All right.
John 7:8. Jesus says, "You go up to this feast. I am not going up to this feast, for my time has not yet fully come." When he said these things to them, he remained in Galilee. But when his brothers had gone up, then he also went to the feast, not openly, but as it were in secret. There you go.
Yeah, but you know why? Because they were trying to take his life at that point 3 or 4 times.
Great.
But he knew he had a mission. He had a mission to go and to do, and his mission was to die on the cross. He was not appointed to die at that time. So why would you ever say that?
He did something that you said he did not do.
Wow. Okay, well, we'll leave that one for the panel.
And you're making something out of nothing. The fact that I made this a surprise
Luke
is
8:17,
nothing.
Jesus himself said, "For nothing is secret that shall not be made manifest, neither is anything hid that shall not be known and come abroad."
Great. What do you want? Okay, help me out here. What do you want me to say that will make you happy? You want me to say, "Oh, I regret making it a secret"? What would make you focus on the real issue?
But also with Sean.
What would make you focus on the real issue, which is the shape of the earth? Because this is called obfuscation, and this is called a distraction, and it's meaningless.
Okay, so Will.
Yeah, I'd like to get back onto the shape of the earth as well. I really would. Is because it's I'm still perplexed as to you're already convinced it's a globe, right?
So I apologize for that. So Buddha, I hear you. Will, I hear you as well. Like we said, what does what the sun do? Especially if it does go and it hangs out for the next 24 hours in Antarctica. Now you're claiming sunlight. Am I correct? Not daylight, or both? One or both? Which one? Because we have to understand your terms.
The sun must be visible in the sky for 24 hours.
Okay. So then how would that then confirm that where we live is a globe? Because here's the thing, this motherfucker don't move and it don't fucking curve. I don't give a damn what you say. I don't care how many Bibles you read or anything. It appears as if the Bible is speaking on the true Earth's behalf. You understand? And you can argue that till the sun comes home, till the sun, the cows, whatever, till they all come home. Now, the thing is, we can also prove this, right? Time and time again, we can show and demonstrate, which is why people like Level Earth Observer, Soul Sovereign, right? Soul, and folks like that is important. And guys like Ben from, I'm going to give him a shout out real quick, Taboo Conspiracy 3, time and time again, he's gone on the ice and he's demonstrated the laser test. These guys have done the laser test. So how can you explain the 8 inches? Everybody knows it like the back of their hand, the 8 inches per mile squared, right? All this stuff, and there's no curve. This is still something that you have to explain, right? Mm-hmm. So how do you explain that? Despite what the sun does. And it's still, I don't believe that it's going to be there for 24 hours personally. But despite
here's some interesting just things to look at anyway. You know, I think, okay, well, if they go whatever, you know, I don't think you're going to see a 24-hour sun personally. But we'll see what happens. You know, the fat lady has not sung yet. But here's some anomalies that you can look at. Now, if the Earth were a globe, okay, the reciprocation of the amounts of flora and fauna found at reciprocating degrees south and north should be relatively the same, as well as temperatures. But as we all know, Antarctica seems to be much, much colder than it ever is at the north. Okay, that's kind of strange. Why would that be? Even Captain Cook on his expedition said that down there at those low parallels, they couldn't find enough vegetation to even make cooking fire with. You know, so there was really a problem. Now, when you get to the same latitudes in the north, you still have a wide variety of flora and fauna, caribou, plant life, all kinds of things, trees. But when you go to the reciprocating parallel in the south, you don't get the same thing. So I'm looking at those anomalies as well. Now, we always want to go by maps and we want to go by models. I'm here to tell you right off the bat, there are no accurate maps. Okay.
I disagree.
Oh, I'll tell you why. Because you cannot measure distances across the ocean. You can only calculate distances across the ocean based on observations of the stellar lights, okay, the stars. That's it. Now, once you go past the equator and you're in, say, a vast area that we call like the South Pacific, right? You're past the equator, you no longer have a stationary pole star to go by. So now it gets even more difficult because you have to go by time and a movements. Okay, so what I'm getting at is you have calculations based on human observations coupled together with actual statute miles that are measured on land. Okay, now if you're ever just interested, and this is anybody out there, go into the history of how they determined the meridians. Okay, go into how they determined the meridians. And it was as people went with globe coordinates in the old days, when they went with these globe coordinates, ships got lost. They found themselves hundreds of miles out of position. They were crashed into land masses because they thought they were somewhere that they were not, because they did use these globe coordinates. Okay. Now with modern GPS has meridian corrections automatically built into the software for in the South. So this doesn't happen as often. But I'm just wondering why after over 100 years, of established bases in Antarctica, that all of a sudden in 2024, this is the year that this is going to matter, and it's going to shatter everything. It's suddenly going to make water be able to convex and wrap around an object and assume its shape. It's just suddenly going to make it possible for a ball of hydrogen to form in a void for no reason whatsoever and then become plasma. And all of these other scientific impossibilities are all of a sudden going to become possible now. That's ridiculous. And it's certainly not worth the amount of money you're spending, but hey, it's your money. You grifted it. Do it with it what you want, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's. A lot has been said.
Yes.
Here is the important thing, and this is my opinion. You might disagree. If you don't have a map, you have nothing, and if you don't have a model, you have nothing.
Okay.
The final experiment will falsify either the AE map or the globe. One of the two. One of the two will forever be gone when we're done.
Do you live on a map?
No.
No, you don't live on a map. Have you verified that the distances and locations on the map that you are given are indeed actually correct?
Yes.
You have verified that. How did you verify that?
Using GPS and my car.
Using GPS in your car.
No, without.
Went to the South Pacific. Wait a second. You went to the South Pacific and physically calculated these distances yourself to verify that they are indeed correct and match on the map that you're seeing. No, I'm going to call BS on that. You did not.
I never said I verified distances.
I'm talking about verifying the map, the very map that we're talking about, a world map.
The map has never been wrong when I'm driving and it says how many miles it will be to get to my destination.
Statute miles. Those are statute miles. Those are measured miles. Okay. Those are statute miles.
Will, it's a little bit different when you have GPS because these things are going to make the proper corrections at the proper times when you're traversing where it is we live. You know what I'm saying? They will make the corrections for you. And also, are you taking like routes? Like, are you taking like the interstate and stuff? Because when it comes to these GPS and or these maps, you have to think you're going to have to go on foot, right? And you're just going to have to pick a point A and a point B, and you're going to have to like walk towards that direction. You know what I'm saying? Instead of taking these pre-planned routes that are already like burnt into a Google Earth and ArcGIS, so on and so forth. You understand?
Yeah, there might be anomalies and mistakes in maps, but my point is this: if you don't have a map, you have nothing. And so if there's a 24-hour sun, the AE map is gone.
No, not necessarily.
Definitely. And if you
disagree, so here's a question for you. I'm going to play a what if for you because
I'm already going to say the AE map is distorted due to the fact that the only coordinate system that we're allowed to use is a global coordinate system. And basically what that is they got past the equator and said, okay, screw it. It's exactly the same as it is above the equator. Okay. That's what they did. And it's not that in reality. Now, none of us are cartographers, not even you, Will, and you have not verified these distances at all across vast distances of ocean between land masses. Neither have I. Okay. So we don't live on a map. Okay. We also don't live in a model. But what is very evident is that the Earth is motionless and it is a level topographical plane that is obviously contained within a dynamic pressure system. Now, why I say it's contained, it has to be contained because you cannot have a volume of gas without containment. And without containment, you cannot have pressure. And without pressure, you cannot have a pressure gradient. And without a pressure gradient, you cannot have liquid water.
So those are solid. Those are solid facts. It's not like this is conjecture. You understand? So what do you think about what he just said right there, Will?
Okay, I want to know. I want to know where the confidence is coming from that the Earth is motionless.
Where the confidence?
Well, Einstein and every single Hawkins and every person has said that it's motionless and it cannot be measured. The motion of the Earth.
Hold on. If something can't be measured, that usually means it exists. So,
Einstein and Hawkins. Boom.
Okay. Well, the bottom line is this, though, Will. The claim, the positive claim, is that the earth is moving. This goes against demonstrable reality and every bit of our senses. We don't feel any movement, especially at tremendous speeds.
Right.
Okay. There's no evidence that the earth is moving at all. In fact, the logical mind would say it is the sky that is moving. So the positive claim is that the earth is moving, which is the antithesis of reality. Therefore, it's the positive claim and it carries the burden of proof.
Yes.
Okay, great. So are you saying that the earth is motionless because you haven't seen sufficient proof from the other side?
Yes.
Because it hasn't been measured.
We don't have any proof from the other side. We have none.
Since 1933. That's why Einstein had to have relativity invented.
Yeah.
I don't make actually claims about the earth's motion because it's something I haven't looked into. And second of all, it's hypothetically possible that the universe is actually spinning around the globe and that the globe is not moving. So the globe model doesn't have to have a spinning earth.
But then we have that pesky ass problem of the convexity of water. Okay. Which of course is an impossibility. If one would believe that the water can adhere to the outside of an object and assume its shape, you must also be able to entertain the prospect that the water surface should also mimic the topography underneath of the ocean, which it does not.
Okay. So here's my question. I brought this up with other people, and I'm being serious. I'm not mocking. I'm not joking. How do you know that the water is flat?
Golly, Will,
how do we know that the water is level? I'll tell you one way is I've used a water level. Okay. Water never does lie. Well, water, I'm going to make a statement. It's kind of confusing. Water does lie, but when it does lie, it lies level. Okay. Because it can distort our vision. Like it distorts our vision. And so it gives us a little bit of a lie in that respect, but it always does lie level. There's been no measured convexity of water at all.
Okay, so hold on a second. I really am serious about this. Like if you guys wanted to show me level water, how would you show it to me?
Just show
put it in a container and put water in it and look at it.
Okay, so water in a container is not flat. There's something called
flat. I said level.
Well,
level.
that is one of the problems because the globe model says that it's level as well.
It's horizontal.
Will.
Horizon.
Wait.
Topographical level plane.
Hold on. If we look up the definition of level, it matches the globe model as well as the flat.
Horizontal.
Go ahead. Bring it up.
Because you have one instance, but every single other instance on there says that it can't be higher or lower. It has to be horizontal. Horizontal.
Will, we're talking. All right, we're not.
I know where you're going with the Merriam-Webster.
No, I want to see it. I wanted to bring it up. I'm going to show him the word magic. I'm going to show him the word magic.
Here's a real quick, Will, just real quick for you. So what if you go down, and since Globe does this to the flat Earth all the time, and we can see the Canigou Mountains from 260 miles or roughly away. Now we can see this, and they say it's refraction. Now, what if we use the same argument when you come back and we say, oh, it's because of refraction that we can see the sun all the way around? It's refraction because technically in your refraction argument, you can see an object all the way back to the back of your head. Do you understand that?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, look that up. That'll be a eye-opening experience, because what if we ended up using the same refraction argument that is like we are so angry and upset about because we're like, oh my God, here we go with the refraction again. So we have to keep arguing that it's refraction. You guys don't understand math and you don't understand. I can make refraction based off of whatever numbers I want. You could look at the back of your head from looking for it.
Does refraction exist?
Absolutely.
Yes, refraction exists because when you put an object in the water,
it's
right, and you look at it, does it not bend? But it always bends down, not up, down.
My puppy, I got a kiddie pool out in my yard because it's been hot for my dogs. And my little German Shepherd, I threw her ball into the pool, and she was trying to get it, and she couldn't understand because she could see it, and she'd poke her nose down at it, but she'd miss it every time. And she finally got on to understanding that if she got ahead of it, then she could get it. But there was a case of the refraction there. Yeah, so refraction is definitely real. However, it's not going to lift things up hundreds of miles. It's not going to lift images up hundreds of miles.
Hold on a second. Are there examples of people on the globe side saying that refraction lifts things up hundreds of miles?
Yeah. Have you not listened to McToon? He says it all the time.
He says hundreds of miles?
Yes.
When there's actually hundreds of miles of curvature should be in between you and the object. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what's missing. But the thing is that the water will be level. It always will be level.
Well, okay. So here's the problem. Okay. Let me tell you guys something. Like, I wish people would understand one thing about what I'm doing. Which is this. I found something in my 2 years of listening to everybody. I found something where both sides said we agree on something, which is if there's a 24-hour sun, it's a globe. If there's not, it's not a globe.
Well, you're assuming that we agree with that. I don't agree with that.
No. Hold on.
I don't agree with that. I don't think Ironworks agrees with it either. You're assuming based on what some flat earthers say that all of us are in that camp. We're not.
Okay. Here's the challenge. I give this to everybody. Nobody has succeeded yet.
Okay.
Show me one of your YouTube videos prior to 2024 where you state that a 24-hour sun could work in Antarctica. I'm still waiting. No one's been able to give me one example.
Refraction.
No, I'm talking. What about there's been
your answer. Refraction.
Listen, hold on a minute. A 24-hour daylight could be possible for a short period of time, but it's daylight. Daylight and sunlight are not the same thing.
Right.
Oh,
they're not.
Yes.
All right.
And so that's the thing is we need to get the vocabulary, or I'm sorry, Saab, but we need to get wording right, because this is the part where it is. We don't trust you. We don't fucking trust you. We do not trust you. And we don't trust this thing that's starting to happen, right? And before you know it, we're going to be at the experiment, or we're going to be at the observation, whatever you want to call it. Right. And so that's what it is. Like, not all of us agree. And then now we see you paying for this, and we're trying to explain to you, we can show you over and over again that all these things are the truth. It's not up for conjecture. Yes, water lies flat. Go to FE Core. Go to whoever has done the experiment time and time again, based off of the model, because this is a globe, correct? And if the globe is supposed to be 25,000 miles, right, in circumference, that is a concrete number. And based off of that concrete number, it has a rate of curvature. And if you're going off of that rate of curvature, there must be some curve somewhere.
Okay.
We ain't found it.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? And so really it comes to the basics. It comes back to the basics that it's not curving, it's not turning. So what's the deal? Like, we don't trust it. And I've named everything else as so many other reasons as to why we don't trust it. And like I said, you couple it with the fact all this money, and we just
let him answer. Hold on.
Came out too big.
Sorry, Will.
Too big, too fast.
Yes. And it's like
too big, too fast, out of nowhere. And all of a sudden it's like, hi, I'm Smiling Bob, the pastor, and I'm going to just pay for some other people to go down to Antarctica because I don't have anything else better to do with my money to do something where people have been for 125 years. Yeah. I mean, I'm just like, wait a minute. I'm always suspicious when somebody comes out too big, too quick. And then to find out that, oh, yeah, I cooked this up with McToon, and I'm like, oh, my God, really?
That's false.
For real.
That's false.
Well, wasn't your story before that you ran into MC Toon at the debate down in Nashville?
No.
And then no.
So where does MC Toon come into all of this? Like, explain that to us, please.
Yes. So he came into this because I emailed him a couple days before I was going to be on Jeranism talking to Austin Whitsitt.
Okay.
And by the way, he's published our original emails so that people can see. That's the first time we ever communicated. And his response to me was, have you ever even debated flat Earth before? And I said, no.
Is this before you came out with this idea for the experiment or after?
Way after. This is this year. I came up with the final experiment last year, and I went to the debate last year.
Okay.
Yeah, so he has nothing to do with this.
McToon has nothing to do with this.
Zero.
Oh,
are you disappointed in associating yourself with him?
No.
Why?
Why would I be?
Bro, it stinks, bro.
Evil?
I'm not gonna lie to you, man. It just
straight up freaking evil.
Yeah.
Have you heard the things he says about people and their children and other things? I mean, my goodness gracious.
This is actually important.
Will, go ahead.
I've heard people say he said things, but no one shows me him saying it.
Go to Robot Polisher.
Well, Robot Polish. Okay, can we talk about Robot Polisher for 30 seconds?
Shoot, I'm just saying, he's got the clips of it all put together, man.
Yep.
Yeah. So after Dean Odell debated Greg Locke, Robot Polisher put a clip up on X of Dean Odell saying, here's how we can settle the debate over the shape of the Earth. We go to Antarctica for a week, and if the sun does a circle over our head, we live on a ball. Robot Polisher put that clip on X and said, let's go to Antarctica. Let's settle the debate.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
But
does that change? Hold on, wait a second. Does that obfuscate or change the fact that he says reprehensible shit about people and their kids and it's on video in perpetuity?
I will look at anything you guys give me. I haven't seen it yet. And if I think it's bad, I will confront him. I have no issues doing that.
Okay. Oh, okay. All right. Will, this is a very crazy time. You understand what I'm saying? Within the last few months since this final observation / experiment has been a thing, there's been a lot of division. You understand what I'm saying? There's been a lot of division. And I'm not saying that you're purposefully fomenting any of it. That's not what I'm saying. So there's no punchline behind any of this, all right? But one thing that I'm noticing is you're like pining hard for Jaren from Jeranism, right? We all like his channel. We've all learned a lot from his channel. I know I have. You know what I'm saying? And apparently he has been a true / flat earther for like 10 years. Okay. But seeing how, and I'm not trying to talk bad about it, I'm just spitting out facts right now. Seeing how Jaren is saying that if we see this 24-hour sun and we don't claim this realm as a ball, and maybe I could be saying it incorrectly, but I'm just paraphrasing right now. Right? We see this realm as we should see this realm as a ball, but if we continue to say it doesn't matter because it doesn't mean that the earth is flat, I feel and then he calls us idiots if we're in that camp. And I'm not saying that you need to answer for him. I just feel this is disingenuous. And then you couple that with the fact that I'm seeing you that appears, all right, fine, you could be financing it.
Freezing up on
whether you're not, that's fine, right? But to see you pine for him, now we've caused a division in this regard. You understand what I'm saying? They're like, well, why the hell is Will Duffy, obviously a Glober, pining for Jaren this way? And why is Jaren saying these things? So now we've got schisms going, we've got cracks everywhere right now. And so my thing is to bring you and others like you, right, that are either a part of this experiment or just have a big audience. And we feel that you guys need to come to the table and you need to hash this out. And I think it's a good thing. I've got Saab, I've got Buttered over here to ask these hard questions and to ask you truthfully why it is you did what you did. Because I don't think that this is clear to us as to why you're doing what you're doing. You understand? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Let me respond to that for a second. I retain information when I'm researching. Okay. I've had a photographic memory. I forget things that my wife asked me to do and that I did with my kids, but I remember data. Okay. when I was going through this journey inside the flat earth community, I saw people trying things. I saw they didn't work, and I saw why they didn't work. And that is exactly how I created the final experiment. Okay.
Okay.
So for example, people would pretend to be flat earthers in order to get inside of the community.
Oh boy.
And that is despicable to me. So I could have done that. I could have pretended to be a flat earther and done the exact same experiment and said, let's go end the globe to get everybody excited, and then pull the curtain back once we see a 24-hour sun and say, gotcha. But I'm not like that. Okay.
So it crossed your mind?
No. I also saw people do experiments by themselves or only on one side, and when the results weren't what they were expecting, tried to hide it from the public.
Where'd that happen?
Bob Nodell.
I don't. Did he hide that from the public? Are you talking about the gyroscope experiment?
He tried. Yes, he said on camera he didn't know he was being filmed. We can't let this get out.
I heard this. And then I heard there's an explanation as to why there is I've never tried it. I've never used that laser gyro before. I haven't. You know what I'm saying? So I can't speak on it, to be honest with you. But based off of what I heard, I did hear that what he's talking about will right now. And I also did hear that we can't let this get.
And so I also saw people recommend ideas and then tell the flat earthers they have to pay for it. Like 74 gear, the pilot.
Right.
And so I said, you know what? None of this has worked. I don't like any of it. So I'm going to do this differently. I am going to pay for it. I'm going to have both sides represented, and no one has to trust me because we're going to have both sides verifying what's going on. So I've tried to be as fair as possible in this whole thing.
Let me correct you on that. You're going to have multiple people to verify it. Okay. You're again assuming two very important things that you shouldn't assume. One, you're assuming that this is going to prove that the earth is a globe. It's not. Second, you're assuming that we accept or don't accept whatever these multiple witnesses down there go to. As I said, although Jaron espouses flat earth, and so does Whitsitt, it does not mean they represent my views on flat earth. Although I agree with many of the things that they say, I disagree with a lot of the things that they say as well. Okay? Because as I've run it through my own discernment, I see it differently. Okay? Now, what we want to stick to is what can be proven and what can actually be demonstrable. That's what we actually do. Now, I can understand, oh, let's go down there and see it. But let's face it, you're not like the first people to set foot on Mars. As I've stated several times now, for over 120 years, there's been people down in Antarctica now. Okay. And much of that time we don't see any empirical evidence of a 24-hour sun. We have found fakes. We have found some that people are saying, well, this one is really good. You can't see that it's fake. Okay. But my problem there, again, is if you have to fake it, why? If it's real, you shouldn't have to fake it at all. And so I'm wondering that after 120 years of people being in Antarctica, why this would even be an issue at all. This would already have been empirically proven. And even if it's empirically proven, and there are some people out there that still don't believe it, so what?
Okay.
It certainly isn't worth that kind of coin. I can tell you that.
Okay. Pete, here's the deal. You guys are all missing something big. And I would put every single flat earther in this camp. You are all missing something massive. And I do believe it is an incredible opportunity that I've delivered to you on a silver platter. And it is this.
That's what's suspicious.
Hold on. Here's what it is. If the confidence is there that there is no 24-hour sun, here's what I've delivered to you guys on a silver platter. I have the globe side stating that they're going to delete their videos. They're going to delete their channel. They're not going to fight the flat earth anymore. They're going to start to defend flat earth if there's not a 24-hour sun.
We don't want
Which of us actually believe that, though?
We don't want them.
A lot of them are liars.
Hold on. They've said it publicly. So make sure you download those videos. And then if they are lying, then we hold them accountable by playing those videos and make them look like a fool. This is a massive.
All right. So this is what I got to understand, though. Okay. Nobody does anything for free. I want to know what's in it for you. What is in it for you? Nobody puts that kind of money out without some kind of payoff. I'm sorry.
And you have a suspicious background with all of the lawsuits going on and everything
and
else.
Not just that, you're a man of money. Men of money
and
waste their money. You're a man.
Is this not true or yes? Is that true?
Okay.
The jail time, is that not true? You have possible jail time?
No.
I told you it was going to be some tough questions.
It's all good.
You guys,
I can answer all of that stuff.
Okay.
Again, I think it's a distraction, but I'll answer it.
Okay.
But to start, what's in this for me? So people, this is going to be hard to explain unless someone has been in a position of wealth, because you don't understand it or feel it until you get there. Once you have money,
you don't know who I am.
Okay, I do not know who you are. Once you have money, you start to change your thinking, and you're like, wow, I could do big things. I could bring big ideas and make them come to fruition. Okay. Elon Musk is a billionaire. He doesn't need another dime, yet he still wants to create SpaceX. He's not creating SpaceX to make money.
We don't trust him either. He's another one.
That's fine. That's fine. But again, I'm just giving you an example of what wealthy people do. Wealthy people love.
Listen, Duffy, I've worked around and been around wealthy people my entire life. West Bloomfield, dude, I got an early start, man. I worked at Orchard Lake Country Club as a caddy there. I know what rich pricks are like, dude.
Hey,
okay? They are not giving people. They are not giving people. Trust me. They are not giving people. All right. They didn't get rich by being benevolent with their money at all. Nobody does this, dude.
I didn't say that.
This is one of the reasons Elon Musk. Elon Musk is a character. Where the people need a hero, we shall provide it. That's what he's there for. Okay. He's a spectacle. I don't even believe he's actually running the whole thing. He's just the face. Okay. But the reality of it is nobody's going to do this without a return. And it's not just some kind of gratification return, because let's face it, man, nobody's going to do that shit. Nobody's just going to go, oh, I have all this money now, and so I'm going to spend it so that other people can go to Antarctica. And as it stands right now, as you've stated, if Wissett does decide to go, you're not even going to go. So you have to, again, rely on other people's information, again, and not really know yourself. So do you see why this doesn't make sense to me? Do you see why this this is like a windowless van giving away free candy? I'm like, what is in it for you?
Yeah. So what's in it for me is, again, I've said this multiple times, is I'm helping humanity.
And you realize truth doesn't need defense. If the earth is really a globe, whether somebody believes it or not, is not going to change humanity in any way, shape, or form. No.
If the earth is a globe, think of all of the wasted time being spent on conversations arguing that it's flat. That will help.
If it's not flat, why waste all the time? If it's evidently a globe, why waste all the time, effort, and money on trying to prove that it isn't flat? Why would that be? Why would we have people whose sole income is based on this whole thing? That doesn't make sense.
It is.
Okay, so, hey guys,
think the lady doth protest too much.
I am not doing this to prove that the earth is a globe. I'm doing this to prove the truth. If the earth is flat, this will also prove that, and I will become a flat earther on the spot, and that will also help humanity.
How will that prove that the earth is not flat?
No, that the earth is flat.
Well, how would the sun, how would an observation of the sky actually prove that, unless you're actually looking at the reflection of the light in the sky on water, which you'll find gives a perfect flat reflection and not a convex reflection.
I think what Will's trying to say is that it's going to give credence to things like the Gleason's map, correct?
The Gleason's map is not a navigation map. The Gleason's map is a timepiece. Okay, it shows where sun is at, and you know what? It doesn't show 24-hour sun in Antarctica.
Right. And so what I'm saying is this: is if there is not a 24-hour sun, the globe is dead. The globe is dead, and if I can play a part in exposing that, that has value as well.
Okay.
That's
so for humanity, this is your answer. I'm not going to say full of it. That is your answer, and that's what you're sticking with. I'm going to have to respect it. We're going to have to respect it for now. I get it. We're going to have to respect it. Now, Will, there was a question that was asked in here. Are you paying for everyone to go, or are you paying for only like one side, or like 2 or 3 people? What's the deal with that?
Yeah. So as it stands, if Jaron and Austin go, I'm going to pay for both of them, and I'm paying for Dave McKeegan, and then myself. That's it. I'm not paying for anybody else.
Okay. So that was the question from the Void. He'd been asking all day. And okay. So guys, now our point of focus tonight is this topic. Yes. And it's,
I have a quick question. So Will,
so
a guy with money, as you mentioned, a person with money and a person with lawsuits can. I understand how both of those things work, and I understand that sometimes it's better to waste the money than to actually give it out to other people so that you don't have it. Do your lawsuits have anything to do with the fact that you're doing this?
No. And why are you calling them lawsuits?
Well, I don't know what else to call them. I mean, they're
called
suits with the law, right? What are they?
They're called FINRA arbitrations.
Okay, so your arbitrations with the law. Do they have anything to do with it?
No, nothing. By the way, I've gone through this in the past. Okay, this is something that financial advisors go through.
No, it isn't.
Yes, it is.
No, it isn't. I know a vice president, former vice president, executive vice president of Payne Weber. I discussed your cases with him. He says, no, that is not normal. Not at all. Not at all.
Okay. I will speak to him if you'd like. But this is what happens in the financial advisory world. And by the way, this doesn't mean I did anything wrong either. So it's very simple.
And why did he have to settle? Why did you have to settle?
That's like me saying I'm a mortgage broker and these things happen all the time, but I have no cases with any kind of mortgage people.
Because you're not making predictions as a mortgage broker.
So why did you have to settle then?
Okay, just let me talk. Okay.
Okay.
People in the investment world like myself, we make investment recommendations, but we don't have a crystal ball. We think they're good recommendations, and we make them.
Except for yourself, right?
No, I have invested in everything that I've recommended to my clients, including the investments that have gone bad. So when an investment goes bad, a client can go file what's called a FINRA arbitration claim against the broker dealer, which is not me, and the advisor, which is me. And it goes to either a mediation or an arbitration. And you either agree ahead of with a mediation how to settle it, or it goes to an arbitration and a panel awards a dollar amount to the client if they think that you did something wrong. No, the SEC is not involved, by the way. This is only FINRA. So anyway, like, it's fine if you guys want to talk about this stuff, but you really don't understand it. And
you might want to rethink that. I do understand it. I worked for a mortgage refinance company for a number of years, so I do understand it. Yeah, I don't like that type of thing. People dismiss and say, "Oh, you don't understand." No, I do understand. That's why I called it into question. Okay. This is exactly why I called my friend Dan Wilkinson and asked him about this. Okay. And like I said, you came out big, strong, and fast right off the bat. Boom. Playing it off almost like, oh, who's going to be in the final experiment? What's it going to be? What's the scorecard? Almost like an air of the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire show. But me, I'm looking here. I'm looking at it going, wait a second, man. People don't offer out shit for free, especially for something like this. There's something else behind this. Okay. And especially the story of, this just kind of coming to your attention and never having talked to somebody who actually thought the earth was flat, which isn't true, because with all the time you spent with Bob Enyart, and he was vehemently against flat earth or anything else to do with it. The moon landing was real, all this other shit. And you were, and you'd never run across any flat earthers, or, this is just a new thing to me all of a sudden. I mean, the whole thing is really sus. Your story on why has changed. I remember you initially said, I think back in December of last year, that you wanted to do this because the flat earth was turning people away from the Bible. And, the stories keeps like migrating, kind of changing and shit. And I'm kind of suspect of that too, you see. And I'm sorry, I'm not meaning any disrespect, but you kind of give off the air of a huckster, man, like a lot of preachers are. I'm sorry, a lot of preachers are just that. They're salesmen. And you're a salesman.
I'm not selling anything. I'm not asking for any money. I'm not raising money. So
that's also suspicious. So what is in it for you? There's got to be some kind of a financial return. Nobody spends close to $100,000 without some kind of a return. And it's not benevolence. I'm not buying benevolence. Come on.
Okay. Well, I don't know what to tell you. I think you should go talk to some wealthy people and say, hey, have you ever had a crazy idea and you were willing to spend $100,000 on it just to see it come to fruition? And most of them are going to say yes.
No, they won't. Like I said, I've been around a lot of rich people, and no, they don't do that. They're very frugal with their money. Except for when it comes to impressing each other. I've seen these rich pricks sit around and try to impress each other by ordering rounds of Cristal and shit like that. And I'm like, dude, you could have got the same result from a case of Jim Beam for a lot less, man.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah,
but they're just trying to impress one another. And that's I know what these people are like, man. I know what money.
I went and started a restaurant in Bolivia, but I still had financial return out of it,
Mm-hmm. It's great. Here's the deal, guys. I understand that it doesn't look good that flat earthers have been talking about Antarctica for over a decade, and now it's a glober that's paying for them to get there. I know that doesn't look good, but it is what it is.
I don't think it's really you paying. Because like I said, nobody comes out of pocket for themselves to do something like this, man. I'm just sorry. They just don't. They just don't.
But you're going to start receiving, right?
Hold on. Especially if the whole thing relies, let's suppose Witsit goes ahead and goes, right? Which means that you have to give up your seat. So have you really proven anything at all? No, you haven't proven anything to yourself at all, because you still have to rely on the stories of the people that come back from there, which we already have. We already have those stories. We already have all of the shit that should be there for 125 years now. 1899, the first established base down in Antarctica. And then by 1904, they had another one, a good one, a permanent one, right? So all this time, over this period of time, and this is still a point of contention, this should already be empirically proven. Nobody disputes that there's a 24-hour sun in the north. No one ever has. So I'm just saying.
You've already purchased the tickets, correct?
Say it again.
You've already purchased 2 of the tickets?
No, only one.
Okay.
Okay.
And what was the cost of it?
$31,495.
$31,000 just for the ticket. This is not including insurance and all that other stuff.
Correct.
Shit.
There you guys go.
You're welcome.
There's a lot of people. There's a lot of people in this country right now that don't even make that a year.
That's why I'm trying to help.
That's helping.
Absolutely.
How is that help? How is that feeding people? I mean, that's what I'm saying. If I was a Christian minister, if I was a pastor, and I came into some found wealth and I wanted to do good for mankind, the first thing I would do would be to start some charities, start up some soup kitchens, do some events to try to help the homeless, to try to, as Jesus would have done, right? Not go, hey, here's some random people. I'm going to pay for you to do that. I could feed. How many people could you feed with $31,000?
How many people could you feed working instead of doing 3, 4, and 5 hour YouTube videos on flat Earth? This goes.
I do work.
No, but stop doing 4-hour YouTube videos about flat Earth and go work and donate the money to charity.
Why?
Yeah, we work. I work.
I'm not a Christian pastor. What are you talking about? I don't have a religion. Okay, I believe in God, but I haven't anchored myself to some theology that's made up by men.
All right,
okay?
guys, let's not, please, we're here for a civil discourse and discussion, men.
Right.
All right, I get it. These things it's getting close. All right, it's getting close. Now, I have a question over here. This looks pretty important. What about who's this Enyart gentleman that I'm hearing of? Right? Can you tell us about this Robert Enyart?
Of course I can.
What's that about? Please expound.
He was my pastor.
Okay.
So
and is he who got you involved into the church and got you into becoming a pastor? What's up? What's up with that?
Yeah, I became the pastor because he died unexpectedly.
Okay, so you took over for him.
That's right.
Okay. So so you're actively running a church.
Yes, I had no plans on being a pastor.
Okay. How did you become ordained then?
It's very easy.
I mean, well, I know it's very easy, but I mean, it's like you have no real theological training or anything like that. You've not been to seminary school or anything like that of any kind of a denomination. So you just all of a sudden, hey, this guy died. Here's his torch. Okay, hang on a second. Let me log on.
Let him answer. Let him answer.
Yeah. Go ahead, answer, Will. Go ahead.
I do have theological training. I have not been to seminary. And
where's your theological training from?
A school that no longer exists called Derby School of Theology. It was located in Commerce City, Colorado.
It doesn't exist no more, though. Huh?
No, correct. It's gone. Can't check.
The founder died. So, yeah, you guys, I went to the church for a very long time, many, many years. And when our pastor died, his wife let me know that he had always hoped I would take over for him one day. They literally asked me to take over. And so I said, yes. It's as simple as that.
Okay.
And this all happened back in 2021.
And wasn't Bob involved with a lot of pro-life, anti-abortion type shit?
Absolutely, he was. As am I.
I had heard you talk about a story where he had gone to Bill Gates's house before he was with Melinda Gates, and they had to stand there. Yeah. And was Bob unaware of Bill Gates's parents' involvement with Planned Parenthood and the eugenics program?
No idea. Bob was at Bill Gates' house when he worked for Microsoft. This is way before he was doing any of that work.
Okay. Interesting.
Huh. So, Will, here's my question for you, right? You guys have been doing awesome, by the way. Let's just make sure we keep it as professional as possible. Like I said, Will, these guys they're not playing games tonight, all right? We're trying to get this all laid out and fleshed out. So, there's a question about this right here from Sea Lightning. He's asking, ask stuff to get on a plane, fly from Ushuaia, Argentina. That's, where that's at. That's in South America, right? To Africa for proof of a ball. What do you feel about that? But to add on to that, Will, right? So we know you guys are supposed to be going to Antarctica. Why is it that you guys can't go to some place well beneath one of those islands like the Sandwich Island?
I've never heard of it. Why would we want to go to this island?
They got sandwiches, man. Hang on, he'll be back. He keeps locking up like that. It's the Penguins. I'm telling you, they're running the whole show. That's why the rich people wear those
Boy,
tuxedos so they can look like a
YouTube
penguin.
got a hard on for me, boy. So, like I was saying, can we go? Why isn't that you wouldn't conduct the experiment in a place like Ushuaia, New Zealand, Sandwich Islands, or those other places? Why does it have to be Antarctica to see this 24-hour sun?
Because on the globe model, there is no 24-hour sun there. You have to get below the Antarctic Circle for there to be a 24-hour sun.
Okay, all right. Now with our
smack my monitor a couple times.
Brother,
come on, buddy.
Jesus.
You're gonna have to repeat that whole question. We didn't hear it.
Kind of off topic. I think penguins would probably be pretty tasty. Nobody ever talks about it, though.
YouTube is, I apologize for that, y'all. YouTube is working its magic on me right now. But yeah, so seeing how the flat earth model is set up, especially on Gleason's map, right? It shows where the sun comes around in respect to those places that I named.
Damn it.
Sitting here popping my gums about it. Let me just show you guys right here what the hell it is I'm talking about. Okay. It's coming up. Give me a second, y'all. So here we go. I'm gonna share right here. There goes. You guys can see that, right?
Yeah. It's sideways.
Right, cool. Okay. So here we go. Here goes New Zealand. Of course, it's upside down, but whatever. But you see where it's at. Okay. And then we have the Tropic of Capricorn right here, right and around here. But it's well south of that right here. You see? So we could put a body here, or I'm just wondering, why couldn't you put a body here? Right? Or any one of these places, like right here. Or right here.
You have to be at 80 degrees. I think he already answered. You're gonna have to be at like 80 degrees, 70 or 80 degrees south longitude. So in order to see that.
Yeah, you're gonna have to be well south of 67 degrees because of elevation to see whether or not there's a 24-hour sun. So we have to be in Antarctica. There is no other land that far south.
Oh shit. Oh, I'm about to reboot. Fuck. Y'all still there? Anybody?
So yeah, I'm still here. So Will, another question for you. I was you were mentioning you were seriously searching out the flat earth model. So what gave you the thought that the globe was true and not the flat earth, especially when compared to the Bible? As I spilled water on my shirt. Apologize.
Nice.
I did not, when I was doing research, I didn't look to the Bible for the shape of the earth. I don't believe that was a goal of the Bible, was to tell us the shape of the earth. And again, as I mentioned,
the creation story itself, but sure. Okay.
Well, the creation story itself might actually have the rotation of the earth in it. Have you ever heard that?
No.
So it says
stationary. No, I mean,
it says there was a day. It says there was a day prior to the sun being created. And so in the globe model, that's one rotation of the earth. I don't know how a flat earth model can account for a day before there's a sun.
A day before there's a sun. Well,
What then?
we get that's where daylight.
Wait a second. Then what was the Earth moving around? What was it rotating? What was it using as a reference point then?
Why does there have to be a reference point?
Well, because it's 15 degrees per hour, it gives us the 24
So
hours.
right, you got to have something to use as a reference point.
Gravity.
No.
Where was it?
If there was this Earth that was created and then God started the rotation, one rotation would be a day.
Rotation around what?
The pole.
From what? But where did the day start? At what point? Where does the day start and where does it end?
It starts when the motion starts and it ends after 24 hours.
Well, why 24 hours?
You were given the sun and the stars for time accounting anyways, but that wasn't until the fourth day.
Correct. So we have all these days in Genesis without a sun.
Yeah.
So that could be, again, this is where interpretation comes into play. That could be a rotating Earth.
What about the firmament?
It could be that God has a time
hard and beaten out. What about that?
What about what?
What is the firmament, which is hard and beaten out? What is your interpretation of that?
I believe it's the crust of the Earth.
The firmament, you think it's the crust of the
earth?
Earth?
Firmament in heaven is the crust of the Earth.
So if you read through Genesis, by the way,
it says it's in heaven.
Hold on.
And that's the crust of the Earth?
No, it's not. So
do you live in Sheol?
Okay, you got to let me talk.
Hold on, let him explain. Go ahead, explain. Okay. I want to hear this.
There is an article which was written many years ago by Bob Enyart, my previous pastor, and it explains this, talking about the Hebrew word rakia. In Genesis 1, it talks about the firmament, then it changes to firmament of the heavens. And so I believe the first 4 mentions of firmament that do not have the qualifier of the heavens is referring to the crust of the Earth.
The crust of the Earth, Will?
Yes, that's right.
Okay, that's what you want to believe. All right, sure.
It says it separated the waters above from the waters below. So we'd have the oceans above it, and then there were waters below the crust as well.
So when you read Psalms 19:1 and the firmament shows the handiwork of God, you think it's referring to
Wait, hold up.
Yes.
When he separated the
that's the question.
When he separated the water, when he separated the waters, and the earth was out without form and void, so that couldn't be the oceans at all, because he separated the waters from the waters, and the earth was without form and void, which means that there was no oceans.
Why does that mean there were no oceans?
Because it was without form and void. He had already separated the water. Picture like a bubble, okay?
Isn't there a different
within it was not formed. Within it was not formed and void.
A bubble is in the shape of a sphere.
So it doesn't mean what's that got to do with anything?
I don't know.
How does that make the land convex? That doesn't. Okay, that would only mean that there's a bubble around.
You asked what I believe, and I told you what I believe. And there's some.
I'm just trying to get to where that belief comes from, and it seems like some mental gymnastics. But
that's why go ahead, explain. Will explain.
So people have looked into the Hebrew word. They've talked about this at length, and it makes sense to me. And again, if there is no 24-hour sun in Antarctica, I will relook at my interpretation of that.
Okay, so you do read the scriptures, correct?
Of course.
So have you read Ecclesiastes 1:6? I know you got you have?
Yeah, but I don't have it memorized. I don't even know what it says right now.
Okay. I'm going to go to it real quick, and then I'm going to show it to you, all right? Where's Ecclesiastes at? Guys, talk amongst yourselves. Questions. There it is. 1:6. Go. All right. So here it is, right here. And Ecclesiastes 1:6, like the Bible talks about, it doesn't say the earth is flat, because it probably has said, hey, we're giving you all these hints. Maybe you guys should just know that it is flat. You understand? Why would I, the Lord, make this thing into a ball? That don't make a bit of sense. But I'm going to stop popping my gums, and then I'm going to show you this right here.
You do know that a pear is not a circle, right?
Yes, that's right.
It's right here. You see? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. It says right there, that highlighted part, the wind goeth towards the south and turneth unto the north. It whirleth about continually, and the wind returneth again according to his circuits.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully the words don't chop you up or mess you up or nothing like that. Let me get rid of this screen. So you do know what that is saying, correct? I mean, I have an old Bible right here, and I have another King James version that gives it to you based plain as hell, saying they'll either say the sun or it will say the wind.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So how does this function? And then it tells you how it goes. It goes in a circular pattern, right? It's circuit. It goes along the south, and then it goes around the north. How does that work on a globe? If this is supposed to be a globe, you understand? Like that's, but it's quite. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I'm not saying you have to know everything, but I'm wondering if you've seen that as well.
No, and I haven't studied the wind either. I'm not a wind expert, but I do find it interesting that the verse before it says the sun also rises and the sun goes down and hastens to the place where it arose. Most of the flat earth models I see, the sun is not rising and going down.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. We see that
in Genesis 1:8, and it says this is the Wycliffe version. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Genesis 1:6 says, and God said, the firmament be made in the midst of the waters, and parted the waters from the waters, and God made the firmament and parted the waters that were under the firmament and the waters that were on or above the firmament, and it was so. Verse 8. Listen to this. As you said, it's not till later that it mentions heavens. Listen.
No, I didn't say that. I said it adds a qualifier and calls it the firmament of the heavens, plural.
Well, because there's multiple parts of the heavens. Of course, there's the air, the atmos, right? Yes. The firmament, the heavens, it says, and the eventide and the morning tide was made the second day. So that's the second day account right there. And it mentions the firmament in the heavens, right?
No, it doesn't. It says it called it heaven. It doesn't say of the heaven.
Read 8.
I'm reading
8?
verse 8. Yeah, it says it called it heaven.
Called the firmament the heaven.
That's right. Heaven, singular.
Okay, the firmament is the heaven, but you think it's the crust of the earth.
I do.
So what?
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. If that's what you think, that's what you think. I hear what you're saying, but I also hear what you're saying, Will.
The Bible does refer to earth as heaven in multiple locations, so it is a plausible explanation there.
It refers to where in the Bible does it say this? Does it refer to heaven, or does it refer to earth as heaven?
There it is.
Where?
Okay.
Nehemiah 1:9.
Everybody read number 8.
Yep, we read it.
Number 8, and God called the firmament the heavens.
No, it's not.
Eventide,
it
right?
says
number
heaven,
8, right?
not heavens.
What does it say?
Well, it's got a
it?
parentheses around the S, the heaven, right? And then a parentheses. And then the eventide and the morrow tide was made the second day. You see that, right? Number 8.
Yeah, I'm guessing the S there means that it's not in the Hebrew.
So it's not the earth. Thank you. All right. Fair enough. That's chapter 1, verse 8. I mean, you can't even get 8 verses into the book, and you can read it right there.
Making it clear and plain. Exactly.
In fairness, do you think that's referring to a glass dome?
I don't know if it's glass. We don't know what it is. Why are we going to claim something that we don't know?
Do you think it's referring to a dome?
The 1957 encyclopedia says that there is a dome that they measured over Antarctica at 13,000 feet or something like that.
Okay, great. So you do believe it's referring to a dome?
I would imagine. I mean, we are.
Okay, wait a second. Let me just. Can I
contained next to a vacuum? So
can I jump
yes,
in?
Okay, go ahead.
The shape and or material is unknown to me, but I do know this to be an absolute fact of physical science. Okay. You cannot have a volume of gas without containment, ever. So there has to be some kind of a physical barrier that keeps our atmos here and not equalizing with the surrounding medium, whatever that may be. Okay. Now, a lot of people like to claim gravity. Okay. Well, first off, gravity has never been proven. And secondly, even if it did exist, no one is able to successfully demonstrate a downward acceleration of air due to gravity.
Is that Newtonian?
Well, the whole thing is that's just the fact. It's just a fact of the matter. Okay. The bottom line, whether you have a gradient or not, what kind of gradient? Pressure gradient. So notice that you have to have the pressure in order to have a gradient. We live within a contained dynamic system, which means that it's a working system. It continuously is being heated and cooled, and different pressure differentials are interacting with one another, going through the process of entropy and equalization, expressing itself in what we call weather. None of this could exist outside of containment to begin with. So, is there a firmament? There is some kind of a solid barrier that is keeping our atmos here, or we wouldn't be having this discussion. Now, until somebody can successfully demonstrate air having a downward acceleration due to gravity, or a volume of a gas without containment, and that means don't point at a cloud or say Jupiter. I'm talking about get a cohesive mass of a gas, a volume of a gas that will remain constant. Okay. And until you can do that, this whole thing is just a fairy tale anyway. Okay.
Okay. A couple things. I do feel like you guys talk out of both sides of your mouth when you tell me we need to make it about what's demonstrable.
Mm-hmm.
And then you talk about a firmament that no one's ever seen.
Well, do I have to? If I have a ribeye steak,
give you an example from 1957 encyclopedia,
guys,
which
one thing. If I have a T-bone steak in front of me, is it necessary for me to see a cow to know that T-bone steak came from a cow? No, it's not. And so based on the fact that a volume of gas needs to be contained in order to be a specific volume, I don't need to show a firmament. As I stated before, I don't know what its composition is, and I don't know its shape. I only know that it has to exist based on this fundamental basic law of physics. Okay? There's no way around that. There is no way around that. You can scream gravity all you want, but until you've got demonstrable, repeatable scientific experimentation proving, then I'm sorry, it's just conjecture.
Okay, so here's what I'll tell you is demonstrable and repeatable is figuring out what the sun does in Antarctica.
Mm-hmm.
And since I got to wrap this up here pretty soon, it's late for me. I will say this. If there is a 24-hour sun in Antarctica, the AE map is gone. And I do believe without a map, there will be nothing.
Well, whatever will they use for navigation? I mean, isn't the AE map, does that mean that now the United Nations will have to change their flag? Nobody's going to use an azimuthal equidistant map for any type of planning of air routes or anything like we've done for the past couple hundred years now. It's just going to shit can that, right?
It will get rid of it in the debate over flat Earth, and you guys won't be able to use it anymore.
Well, first off, we need to have a map that's not based on globe coordinates that were set by somebody else.
Exactly. Look, because let me tell you something. I'll tell you for a fact. Being on a Navy ship, surface ship, being on a submarine, being on every aircraft that I've been on, there is no globe anywhere. Not one. Not a one. There isn't. There isn't. There isn't one on the bridge. There isn't one in control. There isn't one in the hangar. There isn't a globe to be found, but we do have charts that we follow, right? We have those. This is a fact. And these are what we follow. This is what we use. If all the electronics go down, right, then this is what we're going to use to get home, if we have to use that to get home.
Yeah. I just think in this whole debate, the flat Earth side, two of the best arguments you guys have is the AE map, because for what we've seen, it works. The first time we'll see it really doesn't work is if there's a 24-hour sun in Antarctica. And you guys have this argument that Antarctica is an ice wall holding the water in, because on a flat Earth, you need something to hold the water in.
No, the two best things that we have is that it don't curve and that it don't move. It don't.
I'm talking about positive. I'm not talking about negative things that you guys have against the globe. I'm talking about positive things you have on your model.
No, listen, you're assuming that everybody thinks there's an ice wall down there. That's a straw man. Okay. Listen, have you ever been to, you've been to the lake, right? You've been to the local pond or something around you. There's a body of water. What holds that water in? Why does that water not come up to where you're standing on the land? Why does it not do that?
Because the land is holding it in.
There you go. There you go. So just like any other body of water, right? You don't require any kind of a wall or anything. You just require to have land that is higher than sea level. Now, as I understand, Antarctica, even without the ice, is the highest land mass that we know of.
8,000 feet on average, I believe.
Yeah. So so it's a shoreline, apparently. Now, is it a fully enclosed shoreline? Maybe sometimes it's not. There's a lot of talk of an east gate or some shit like that where they can actually get through. They've tracked cargo ships more than 700 miles into the interior of Antarctica. There's some pretty suspicious shit that's going on as far as that's concerned, I know. So what it is, I don't know. I'm not a cartographer. Nobody has an accurate map. And as Ironworks pointed out so eloquently, nobody uses a globe for navigation anywhere. They never have, they never will. Okay. The best thing that they do use is not a Mercator. They use an actual azimuthal equidistant map. So it's the closest thing to reality that we actually have, especially knowing that in any school of flight, whether it be the military or civilian, people that learn to fly are told to treat the Earth as a stationary, non-rotating plane. Okay?
But they don't use the AE map for flight paths.
Actually, they do. I can show you even in 1942.
Give me 1 second. Baby, I got you, baby. Hold on. I got you. Hopefully my internet don't go out. Hold on. Y'all talk amongst yourselves.
So yeah, they did use this. I'm quite a history buff, and especially when it comes to like World War II.
Okay, so real quick, let me just ask a question here. I'm not a pilot. Southern Hemisphere flights, are those straight or are they curved? Do they fly in a straight line or do they bank the entire time?
Never fly in a straight line unless you're going directly north and south. East and west are circles.
Even on the globe as well, Mr.
No. You guys aren't answering my question.
It's a ball.
On a Southern Hemisphere flight, which begins and ends in the Southern Hemisphere, do they bank the entire time?
Are they going east and west?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, they will have to correct according to their compass. Absolutely.
All right,
That's
That right
because
there is
that's with any
But we
east-west. That's with any
we're also
east-west
assuming-
navigation. If you
We're
go
also
straight,
assuming the
hold on,
south is
listen.
much larger
Wait.
than the north.
If you dead reckon any direction, you can start off going west. If you dead reckon going west, you will eventually end up going south. You will have to make constant corrections by going east and west, by guiding yourself toward where north is in order to go east and west, because they're just circles. Now that's true whether or not you're on a globe or a flat earth. Okay. So you're not doing straight lines. It's not
Google
pattern.
Maps will actually show you that too. Go to a 90-degree angle on Google Maps.
What do you
from
got
the
there,
south,
Ironworks?
and you're going to find that as
right
well.
here is it. This is a world atlas. C.S. Hammond's world atlas. I don't know if you can see that, but you can read it right here. Just read that. It says the map has been prepared with the North Pole at the mathematical center. From it, distances to any part of the world may be measured. On Mercator's maps of the world, the polar regions are so scattered that their relatively small area and availability for flight routes are disregarded. Today, with airplanes following great circle courses, often within the Arctic Circle, polar projection maps are, look at that, indispensable to the people of the air-minded age. This was printed in 1958. You could take a look. This is C.S. Hammond's, right? This was published in 58, and this is basically an exact duplicate of what,
Oh no.
always look
at.
What is a circle route?
It's the east-west route.
at. I apologize. Please repeat that.
Those are the only circles you're going to do. Is east and west. In fact, you're going to do it.
Navigation is what that is. That's a circle.
Now, wait, I wanted to bring this up. Notice that the entire world, right, uses the azimuthal equidistant map. As I pointed out before, all your world organizations, UN and everything, use an azimuthal equidistant map, right?
There's a reason why.
Okay, well, now wait a second. How come nobody ever uses one projected from Antarctica?
Mm-hmm. You mean with Antarctica in the center?
Yeah.
Because it messes up the shape of all the other continents, which have the people that they're representing. Antarctica doesn't have any citizens.
Yeah, but wait a second. Neither does the North Pole. No, neither does the North Pole. So if it distorts it so greatly, all you're doing is flipping the ball upside down, right? And flatten it out. That's what you claim that the AE map is, right?
That's right.
So then you should have the same minimal or a same amount of distortion that takes place from that. In fact, wouldn't that be handier? Because if it becomes more distorted on an AE map as you go south, wouldn't it be beneficial to have a projection from the south to use in the south, therefore not distorting?
Have you ever? Yeah, have you ever looked at an AE map with the South Pole in the center?
Yes, I have. Isn't it mysterious? Isn't it mysterious how it just does? Yeah, real bizarre. Real bizarre. It shouldn't be that bizarre.
Exactly. And it makes sense because if it's supposed to be the polar opposite of the North Pole, then we should basically be getting the same thing. Yes.
Yeah.
No.
We should be.
No.
Why is that?
Because there's not an ice continent at the North Pole. So the reason the
we don't
map,
so despite that, just have the 0 point. Just have the 0 point at the South Pole. You don't even forget that there's any land mass. You don't even care about that. Okay? You're just going by coordinates, right? So you've got all these other land masses. Why are they so distorted, unrecognizable when the projection is done from the south, but from the north, it's not?
Can somebody pull one up so that the audience can also see it? So they have a reference. If they have, I said, can somebody pull one up so that we have a reference so the audience can see?
Yeah. Because Will, I apologize for that, man. I'm sorry. I jumped on you. I didn't even let you finish. But this would be something if we could zoom in. I mean, it should function the same way. And how do you know that there's nothing up in the north?
I said there's not an ice continent.
I mean, that's what I meant. I apologize. How do you know that there is no body in the north? There's no ice continent.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. See, that
Okay.
shouldn't be that screwed up. That should not be that screwed up. You don't get that amount of screw up projecting the other way.
No.
Well, you know what? I gotta defend my Australian friends here. The AE map destroys the shape of their continent.
Yeah, because they all got out there and they're cartographers and they measured their continent. Sure, they did. Just like I've measured my continent, and I know explicitly that it looks exactly like what they show me from the air. Right? Come on.
You can actually measure Antarctica by driving or flying. There's
You mean Australia? You mean Australia?
Australia. There's highways and flights that you can use. So there's distortion either way.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't tell you.
Do you know why that is? Do you know why that is?
Yeah,
because they have to make it fit with the already established globe coordinates that have been established. Otherwise, you don't get to have a map. Okay? It all has to be approved. It all has to be approved. And if you don't use the established globe Cartesian coordinates that the system that's been established, you don't get to have a map. Now, let's face it also. We all have to rely on someone else's pictorial representation of what the world looks like. Okay? None of us have been able to verify that for ourselves. Not even collectively as a group have we been able to verify that for ourselves, because none of us have the finances to do such a thing, to mount a cartography mission across the world. So we have to rely on what's already been established. And what's already been established is tightly controlled by, yes, a royal society, the crown. Absolutely. When you look into the whole thing of how they established longitude and why we use Greenwich as the mean time 0 point for all time on Earth, you'll really see how tightly controlled this was. Okay. So that's what I'm going to say about maps and models, because I don't live on a model either. Okay. The only thing I do know is that this place where I'm at is level, it's stationary, and it has to be contained or I wouldn't be breathing. Those are verifiable.
All right.
So I know he's got to get going here pretty soon too. He's already kind of mentioned that. I don't know if you had any prominent kind of discussions in the chat that you wanted to bring up. Maybe now would be a good time. Yes, and I'll be quiet. We'll both be quiet. How about that?
Yeah, now's a perfect time. Guys, if you have any questions for Will, pointed questions that maybe some stuff we didn't go over, please, now is that time. Now is that time. Will, these guys are going to be tough. They're going to throw some hard balls at you, so brace yourself.
I'm braced.
All right. And I know it was a crazy night for a Tuesday, but I appreciate your patience and everybody on this panel. I really appreciate you guys coming out, man. Y'all didn't have to do all this.
Man, no problem. Like, everybody has questions. It's all getting, everybody's biscuits are getting buttered. That's all we got to say.
Yeah.
So,
all right. Questions. What we got? Does he see the supernatural? Okay, so Jehovah's Daughter says, does he see the supernatural Bible changes? And what's his theory on them?
No clue what she's asking.
Jehovah's Daughter, if you would expound, please.
Mandela effects.
Okay, the Mandela
right.
Effects
so the taking place throughout Scripture. Isaiah 11:6 is one of the big popular ones, but I found some that were kind of disturbing and almost would give a hint that a malevolent force is responsible for it because of the blasphemous nature of such changes that I've seen, including something that would only be relevant in today's society, and that would be winky emojis. Yeah.
So, Will, do you have anything for that? So I think
it sounds like we're talking about differences among English translations, which I don't care about.
It's actually not differences. It's actual changes that have taken place.
In the
like,
Bible, yes.
yeah, where it says, you know, thou shalt have no other gods, for God's name is jealous, and he is a jealous God.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to tell you something that you should be able to appreciate. I was highlighting Mandela effects in the Bible, this Bible that I went down and I bought at the thrift store so I could mark it up, right? And I have several different ones, including a replica of the King James 1611. It's really, that is really cool, man. That is really cool.
It's like a
anyway, I had just got done highlighting that where it said God's name is jealous,
right.
And he is a jealous God. And then when I went to flip the pages, a little piece of paper fell out that was apparently used as a bookmark. I still have it. And it had a Psalms listed on it. That's all it was written on it, just this little tiny piece of paper. And I was like, wonder what that is. And I looked it up, and it was the one that says that all men shall know you, that your name is Jehovah. Now, what's the odds that I am directed to that verse right after noticing something? God's name is jealous, and it's capitalized. And I thought, no, this can't be right. And I went and I looked at my 1611, and it's changed too.
Wow.
And then I look in the tablets of the 10 Commandments that were carried by Moses are now tables of stone. And this fits in with a bunch of other things where there's missing T's. There's something about T's. There's a pattern involved with this, not just in scripture, but also in modern pop culture things that have changed. It's really an interesting subject. You should look into it. I would be concerned because it is prophesized in Daniel. It's prophesized in Amos, and here it is happening. And if I was a minister, which I'm not, but I still go out and say, hey, y'all better pay attention. This shit's happening. This shit is happening. Men will thirst for the word of the Lord, but will not be able to find it.
The book of
being
Eli.
Supernaturally changed. Yes, Eli. And people have to understand that God's word is written on the heart, not in a book.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind.
So Will, to that, what do you say?
There's no point in talking about it. We're talking about differences in English translations. If we want to talk about textual criticism, we need to talk about Hebrew and Greek.
Okay, and not in English.
Right.
Okay, all right. And that's something for another time. But next question right here. What time are your services?
9:30 Sunday school, 11 a.m. Is the service. And Roger Ledwell said he's coming this Sunday at 9:30. We're going to let him present Flat Earth to our church.
You know what? That's square. That's solid. I got to see that. Is this going to be filmed? Is this going to be something that's going to be mass produced?
Happy to film it. Happy to put it on YouTube. No problem.
I would love to see that. If you could please. And guys, I don't know what your channel is, Will, but if you could please let the audience know what your channel is.
Yeah, it's called Agape Kingdom Fellowship on YouTube.
Agape
Kingdom Fellowship.
He's like me. He says it phonetically as he's spelling it out. Man, I heard you. Agape. I do that too. And there's another one too. I always learned, and this is another weird thing too. The word dilemma has changed to where it's a double M now. And I remember there was DEM with an N, dilemma.
What?
Right? Dilemma, DELMNA was dilemma. And I remember because I would always, like you, sound it as I was writing it out, dilemma. And I always thought that very strange. And now it's not that. It's DELMMA, dilemma. And I'm like, wait a second. This is messed up. And there's other words like that, like a lot. Now it's two words, A and lot. I remember
right.
ALOT. And nope. Some crazy shit going on, man. Really. But anyway, go to your next question, man. Yeah, dilemma.
Here's another one right here. I apologize, Will. It says, what about when God stopped the sun, or when Joshua asked God to stop the sun for him?
Yeah, that was a miracle.
That was a miracle, but he stopped it for a whole day. I believe it was Ajalon and what was the other one? So one stops in Ajalon, the other one stops in somewhere. I forget.
Yeah, I don't recall.
Yeah, but the
Wouldn't
sun
you
and the
think?
moon stopped. It wasn't just because when
Wouldn't you
the other
think
one
though
stopped.
that an object traveling 800 to 1,000 miles an hour, if it just suddenly stopped, that the inertia of everything else on it would continue to travel forward, kind of like when you slam on the brakes in a car when you're going real fast, you know? I mean, that's just what I'm saying. It would be more logical to believe that, oh, okay, the sun was what was moving and that's what stopped.
Yeah, without divine intervention, it would be an issue. And again, if there's no 24-hour sun, you guys are right.
What do you think? What is the sun?
A light?
But I mean, what is it?
I don't know.
I mean, is it a physical object? I mean, here's it like this type of thing. I was thinking about this one night, not too long ago. What is fire? Is fire actually, it looks, you can see it. There's something seems to be physical there, but it isn't physical. You can't really weigh it. You can't, what is it? It's not really matter, but it appears to be matter. And so when I look at the sun, or I'm contemplating the sun, I have to try and first understand what it is. And there again, right back to the scientific impossibilities, you could never have a mass of hydrogen form together in order to become plasma. In other words, become the source of its own pressure and become plasma under any circumstances whatsoever.
Cool. I'm laughing at the next question.
All right. So, this is going to be the next and the last question because we have to be respectful to Mr. Duffy's time.
Where's the echo coming from?
Again, Will, thank you for tonight. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. We don't hate you. We do appreciate you. So,
does anybody know where the echo came from? Is it gone?
Are you guys hearing the echo? Yeah.
I don't hear an echo.
I hear one.
Yeah, I hear one too.
Yeah, there's an echo. It's not coming from me.
No, I haven't been echoing all night.
Strange.
Penguins.
Okay, so I'm gonna answer this question, and then I'm gonna ask you guys one question, and I'm gonna give you time to answer it. Okay?
Sure. I'll go ahead, Will.
There's a rumor going around that the church is closed when we're supposed to be there. People are trying to say that it's a fake church and I'm a fake pastor. It's all lies. Right. If anybody wants to provide evidence of this, like you go there and it's closed, then just take a picture or something. Like people just make stuff up.
Are you closed on Saturday?
Yeah. Well, there's another church.
That's probably what they mean because the Sabbath is the seventh day.
Well, wait a second. Roger Ledwell, who you mentioned earlier, popped onto my show live from the parking lot of your church when your website said that you guys were supposed to be having services and it showed to be closed. I mean, that's live. I can actually link the video.
Okay, hold on. What day of the week was it? We only have services on Sunday.
Well, your website said that you had services that night.
Well,
it might have been a Sunday. It might have been a Sunday. I don't remember.
We don't do services on Sunday nights. Never have.
Sunday night. But would you have them on Saturday night?
No, never have.
No? Okay, just Sunday morning.
That's it.
Okay. All right. And it is Agape Kingdom Fellowship, yes?
That's right. Yeah.
All right. And so being true to my word, brother, Will, hey, man, I know you had to endure quite a bit today. It was a little bit rough.
Okay.
Well, Will, thanks, man.
YouTube is on me, man. YouTube is on me. Will, listen, watch this happens again. Thank you for your time, man. I really appreciate you. I hope to see more of you, right? I would like to get down to the bottom. You guys have anything for Will?
I think we're good.
Will, your question to us.
Yeah, so this is, man, there's still an echo. Do you guys hear it?
Yeah, I hear it.
I wonder if it's mine. I'm going to mute.
Okay. All right. I just got a question for you guys from an actual pilot, which is exciting. And so I want to give you this question and I want to give you time to answer it, but I want you guys to at least commit to answering it.
Yeah.
I don't fully understand the question, but I know since he's a pilot, it makes sense. Here's the question.
Okay.
Calculate the distance between S34E160 and N15W160.
Hold on. S.
Calculate it using what?
One.
S34E160.
Yeah, but using what?
I think these are coordinates essentially.
Yeah.
And then N15W160. And so here's the challenge, is to calculate the distance
S15
without using the globe.
How would we do that? We'd have
You
to
do
actually,
realize that we
how would
have
we
to
do
use
that? We have to rely on someone else's information.
That's a coordinate. That's it.
which are the coordinates which we have to use, so we have no accurate map
Wait a minute.
in that projection anyways, but okay.
So that's in this.
You guys want to just think about it and give it a shot?
We could only validate it if it's land mass anyways, but that's fine.
Yeah.
Calculate that.
We don't even know half the variables that are involved with this entire thing. How do you calculate a distance over water?
I'm still interested. I would still do that calculation myself. I'm not going to do it right this second.
Yeah. Just get back to me on it. I think that'd be great.
Yeah. Totally. I mean, I think it's fair. You're asking us the questions, and I think it requires an answer. I'm not trying to cheat you out of anything. You know what I'm saying? I think that would be fair.
Okay, cool. All right. Thank you guys so much.
Will, it's a pleasure, man. Thank you very much, and you have a good night. And everybody, if you hadn't forgotten, Will, when is this? Damn, this motherfucker.
You dropped.
You gone. Gone.
There we go. Here we go. I'm gonna email him because I'm interested in seeing who this flat Earth guy is going to be. You know what I'm saying?
Is that you, Butternuts? Is that you echoing again, bro?
It probably is. I should go get my headphones.
Butternuts. His sound thing is like my internet tonight. Yo, my internet has never been this bad. Ever.
Yeah, I dig it.
Ever.
I dig it, man. They choke your stream, dude. They choke your stream, and I'm sure they was probably prepared to do that tonight anyway.
Yeah.
You know, just given the topic and who is here. Absolutely. You know.
Yeah.
All right, that should be better, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, man. That's
so Sunday at 11 a.m. Yes, that's where. So at the Agape Kingdom Fellowship Church, you guys check that out. He's supposed to have the Agape. He's supposed to be having some flat earther. Well, I'll be real with y'all, man. I mean, I was observing more than I was talking because I was trying to get a feel for where he was coming at us with his answers. I was more trying to get a feel. It almost seems as if like when he said, I didn't know how to cut it when he said, you know, I was given the church, basically I was given the reins. He died. Like this just all happened overnight, it seems like. And I'm like, oh, this is weird.
Pass the keys of the papacy.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of strange.
I'm like, this is weird. How does that happen? How does one?
But I don't want to be a pastor. I want to be an investment guy. I don't know, man. Listen, the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's a created.
It's
a created like front. No, it doesn't, man. It does not resonate. It does not resonate, man. It's just not. It's just so off. You know, it's just so fucking off.
But at least here's the thing.
Like
at least, and at least here's the thing. His answers, whether we want to believe them or not, we could dissect it wrong. It's not something that we're pulling out of our ass. We got the answers from him. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Now, my thing really, there's no way in hell that he can patch up the issues that we have in the community. But what I'd like to see is guys like Flat Earth Banjo, is guys like Leo, is guys like, you know, not Mark Sargent, the other one, Eric Dubé. Get on Jaren's channel and figure this nonsense out and talk this stuff out. Because, you know, a lot of these dudes are going to be talking shit about each other. And I'm not saying that Flat Earth Banjo or Eric Dubé, well, Eric Dubé kind of does. I ain't gonna lie. But like Jaren's been going hard in the paint on these dudes. And it's like, dude, you can't just have a big channel and talk shit on these dudes and think there won't be any repercussions behind it. Before it gets to that point, have dialogue, talk with these guys, bring these guys to the table, make it known that you want to have these guys to have a fair discussion. We had a fair discussion, I feel, with Will, whether we agree with him, whether we believe him or not. I think it was fair. You understand what I'm saying? You guys asked some good fucking questions, and you guys went at them the way I thought you would, and I'm very impressed, right? And so, and even the audience had, just like I figured the audience, they'd ask the questions that maybe we weren't thinking of. And so I think it's important to get at the audience and kind of break it down and ask them these questions, whether we want to ask them or not. You know what I'm saying? So this is what I feel is missing on the channels like Jaren and everything else like that. And before it gets to that point, god damn it, these motherfuckers need to talk with these dudes. It's ridiculous how you have grown-ass men talking shit behind each other's back and just not bringing it to the damn table and talking like men and being like, all right, I agree, and then I walk away.
Right. Look, man, it's like it's that's all cool. I'm very sus that I'm not satisfied with what's actually in it for him. You know, his answer on that, I'm not satisfied with that at all. Come on. Who's got
I was really trying to.
Who's that?
Really, that's me. Yeah, I live out in the country, man. That's my next door neighbors.
Oh shit! Where do you live at in the country at?
Central Pennsylvania.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I was gonna say, man, we had donkeys like all over out in Death Valley, and out.
Man, I don't even notice them anymore. They go off all night long. They're
my man out there with old McDonald and all that, man.
I am in the middle of nowhere, but I got better internet than you, man.
Hey, you know what? I ain't even going ahead. Right.
Starlink.
I got 500 megabytes per second.
Hey, listen, but I got Starlink.
Yeah, that's much
the crazy part. But here's the thing: on my house, it's nothing but canopy.
Oh yeah.
Nothing but canopy. And I find it a miracle that I even get internet with Starlink. I find it a miracle because it's not no satellites, dude. It's probably line of sight, a fucking tower. It's powerful.
I like David Weiss's explanation. Probably airplanes. Yeah, with Ukraine going down, and then they didn't have internet. Yeah, but I was really trying to press him on the whole his lawsuit kind of stuff, which he didn't like that word. But I was really trying to, because I think a lot of people have questions about that. And I mean, I would go and blow money instead of giving it to somebody else. You know what I mean? If you have the money, I would seriously, like, I knew that crap was coming down the line. I would blow that money and just say, well, I'm just going to do something with it because, you know, the government's coming after it anyways.
I don't think it's his money. Nobody's that free with their own money, man. Nobody does that shit. Nobody does that.
Well, if you know the government's coming after you and you have a lawsuit or something, IRS coming after you, trust me, you'll blow that money. You'll just you'll spend it rather than give it to them. Once they find out you have it, they're going to come after all of it. You know what I mean? So you just go spend it. That's the way it works. That's literally the way it works. That was because that's what I would do, literally. And I've done that.
Like, hey, man, I paid for that experiment. I paid for 15 people to go, baby. I ain't got nothing in my pockets no more. But I just think it's
I had the IRS after me. I took that money out and I bought silver. And I bought a lot of silver.
I just think it's crazy, man. I just think it's crazy.
You're breaking up, Iron.
Yeah.
She can't hold it any longer, Captain.
We're waiting for you, Iron.
She's breaking up. She can't hold it any longer, Captain.
She can't hold it. Beam me up, Scotty.
Yeah, out of the kindness, there we go. Out of the kindness of your own heart, even the Bible talks about being right with your money, being strict with your money to some degree. Even the Bible says it. They don't say just to go out and be nice with it. No. And no money man that's serious about their money and uses money to make money is going to do that with their money. So I'm thinking along the lines of everyone else that
there's some kind of motive behind it.
I don't know if I was, I felt it for a minute there. I was kind of like, am I being too harsh? And I was like, no, because I'm straight up. I'm going to be honest. I don't buy the smiling Bob, benevolent pastor guy that just wants to settle the argument once and for all. No, I'm not fucking buying that for a second, man. I'm sorry. I might have been born at night, but I wasn't born last night. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Yep. And but you know what? I am glad that he offered to come out, and I'm also glad that you guys took that time to do a few shows and to come out tonight and throw them hard pitches at him, because I explained to him that they weren't going to be easy questions and that we were going to be honest to him and we weren't going to trick him or anything else like that. I let him know. You know what I'm saying? I didn't catch him off guard or anything else like that. But he was I feel, whether we felt he was deceitful or not, he was a trooper about it. He took one for the team. And hey, man, that's what separates us from the globe people, man. We ain't bullshitting. We just looking for the truth. These guys, I don't know.
Firmament is the crust of the earth. I mean, my God, I couldn't let that one go. I'm sorry. I was like, no.
And that's one of the things. At least you guys got to witness this. At least the audience got to witness this. And so this is stuff that, again, that we could dissect later on. Like, yeah, I didn't understand. I was like, I know I ain't the smartest motherfucker around, but god damn, that one just threw me off totally.
I had a little bit of a mess up with that one too. I was like, wait a fucking minute. What?
But here's what I think about that is that if you're such a believer in the globe, you're going to make stuff up. You're going to add things that don't even belong there, that ain't there in the first place, just to make your globe model work. You know what I'm saying?
Because it's a deception to begin with.
Yes.
Okay. That's the only way it can be defended is with more deception.
Yeah. Just make it simple
way around it. There's no simple way around it. It's the antithesis of reality. It's the Luciferian inversion of reality. It is everything completely inverted. Oh, the earth is very small and insignificant. No. In relation to everything else, it's very big. The sun is very small, not very large. Okay. All of these things, everything is the opposite of it. And in our world, okay, I'll say this, the world is spinning wildly out of control while the earth remains stationary and level. So the world that we're in right now is just crazy town. We have the antithesis of what things are supposed to be in everyday life. Healthcare destroys health. Education system destroys knowledge and intelligence. We have everything is designed as the opposite of what its name purports it to be. Doesn't anybody think it funny that ever since they developed the American Cancer Society, they've developed hundreds of more different kinds of cancer? It's because they're coming up with it themselves. What do you think it's for? Why are they called that? Holy crap, y'all. Everything that they sell to you is the antithesis of reality. And up to and including your nationalism bullshit. We're America. We're the good guys. Wrong answer. The rest of the world sees us like Darth Vader in the fucking Death Star. Okay? Yep. That's how the rest of the world sees us. We're not exceptional. We're not the bastion of freedom. We're the bad guys most of the time. Get real with it, man. And I say that collectively because I'm talking about the people that, I'm proud to be an American. Well, you didn't have shit to do with it.
Yeah.
Why are you proud? You didn't have anything to do with it. You're here because you got born here. Big deal. That wasn't your accomplishment. So
Duffy came back with a donkey in the background. That's good.
I mean, it's like this, I'm proud to be white or I'm proud to be black. And it's like, why? You didn't have anything to do with that either. Well, yeah, but white people did this or black people did that. Yeah, but it wasn't you. So where's this pride coming from? Here's the reality of it, folks. You could have been born anyone. And here's the real kicker. You were. Ha.
Yeah. Yeah. Like it's kind of like that football team pride. We won. We won. Like, who's we? You're not a New York Giant.
That's
And
right.
then
You
all that
just
stuff
sat up
is
there.
fucking game, dude. Really? Who's we?
Yeah.
Yeah. You sat there and drank beer with paint on your tits and shit and and got drunk, you know?
Yeah. Alabama. I'm like, what are you talking about? That shit. They don't give a
Yeah,
damn
but
about. They
did
don't
you
even
see when
know
I-
you.
Did you see when I threw the chip dip when he missed that play? Boy, I was really involved with that.
Yeah.
I need a new TV set, but that's
Oh.
okay.
Yeah. These
Bread and
guys.
circus. Yeah.
Yeah, they've got us all twisted up, man. And yeah, just like you said, everything's an inversion. War
These
on
are
drugs,
pressure.
war
These
on
are
war
pressure
on
valves.
yeah.
Okay, sports are pressure valves. Okay, it gives the men this release of that angst. Okay, and that tribal instinct to want to, right? And it gives them a place to direct their aggression. All right, same thing with politics. These people get addicted to cortisol, and it's because they keep producing it. After a while, they look for shit to piss them off. Okay, this is exactly what people do. This is no shit. They've got people wired into this same kind of a thing.
Yep.
And so to keep you also so that you don't turn and see who the real enemy is, they keep providing an enemy for you. And you'll go and release all that pent up aggression, that anger in what we call a war. And they'll direct you towards somebody else who's doing the same thing in turn while they sit up there on their throne laughing at you idiots for killing each other when they're the ones that should be killed.
Yeah, perpetrating the whole thing.
Yeah, but
War
what
on the
you're saying,
invisible enemy.
yeah, but what you're saying,
Let these guys that get a problem. Let's let Netanyahu and the Shah of Iran, let's get them out there. Go ahead, duke it out, figure it out, see who wins. Go.
but you see, Saab, everything that you're saying, it makes total sense. You're not going to hear the globe talk about this. You're never going to hear the people of the globe talk about this. Like they're
all in.
That's what I'm like. This is the first thing that I mentioned to Will. I was like, Will, like, I see you're a pastor. I see you're this. I see you're a man of money. If you was really about your shit, of course, I'm not going to repeat the damn question, right? Why is it that you're not paying attention to these things? These things don't come up in your damn view of things to discuss that are either evil or bad, or we need to fix this, or the government is wrong for this and we need to rebuke it. Like none of that. None of him and those other globers. It's like they have a concentrated effort to derail and discredit everything that it is we say. Right? Whether we agree with each other, whether we agree with how we handle our business or how we view this earth, right? To some degree, these guys are there at every fucking turn to just make it seem as it's insignificant, make it seem as if, and then I'm like, all right, okay, that's cool. You don't think the earth is flat. So what do you think about this shot? Oh, well, the shot, I don't think anything about the shot. What do you think about the government? Well, I don't think anything. I'm like, that's odd because all this shit ties in. All this stuff ties in, and it's actually a fact that these people are corrupt. It's a fact that this juice that we're getting isn't good for us. It's a fact that these motherfuckers got some motherfuckers buying up all this land. But while they're buying up all this land, we're starting to figure out things about this same land that they're buying up so we can't dig up on it. Don't you find it strange? They don't talk about any of this shit.
Did you see what Lucky Haskins said in here? And no, Lucky, it's not wrong to be proud to be a man, because being a man is more than just being a male. Okay?
That's true.
I'm just going to put that out there. But he said...
Sorry.
Where did he just say that? Where did he just say that? He said when we said the sun didn't matter, it was like someone stole his binky. And he's talking about Duffy. When we said that the sun doesn't matter, it's not going to suddenly make the earth be a convex ball or any of that. And he was like, what? You look like somebody stole a pacifier.
Is this JP?
I was kind of confronted when he brought up the whole, well, Jesus kind of lied and didn't always tell the truth kind of thing. And he said, well, I was telling him, because Jesus was on a mission, right? And he knew his time wasn't to die at that time. But then he, like, it didn't hit me until after, like right after that sentence kind of ended. But he said, yeah, I'm on a mission as well. And I was like, man, I should have asked him, what's this mission that you're on? To prove what? To do what? Right? Like what?
Right.
Yeah, you literally just said you're on a mission as well.
Especially,
that was a really suspect in my mind.
Yes, especially as a pastor, right? As a pastor, you feel strongly in your beliefs, right? So basically, you should have something like a mission statement. You should have something that's concrete. It's every day, right? So basically, like, I don't know, like somebody like Megatron from the Transformers. I just want to make the Autobots' life hell, right? That's just an example. So you as a pastor, you would have a mission statement. Hey, my thing is to bring fresh water to everyone, so everybody got access to fresh water. That's all I'm here to do, because water is important to life.
Well, he bills Agape Church as the small church that does big things. So, I mean, if that means anything to it. Maria Walker, in answer to that, he didn't have to get the rules waived because they're going to established Antarctic base camps that are owned by an established company called ALE, Antarctic Logistics Expeditions is what that stands for. Wow. And they, of course, already have the permits and thereby have to enforce the rules that have to take place there. So it's kind of like you're grandfathered in. You can't just wander off and be on your own or some kind of thing like that. You have to stay within a contained area. And I think they've actually got a thing where you have to stay in your tent during quiet time. But apparently, I guess
he got an exception for that.
He got an exception for that. So I don't know. That's again, what's in it for him? It sounds like he's a travel agent.
This is the thing. You're in one fixed location in Antarctica, right? And this goes back to what Jaron was kind of getting on everybody about when we mentioned a fake sun or a artificial sun. Jaron is like, there's no way in hell that they could do that. What are you guys, idiots? I'm like, these motherfuckers can do anything. What do you mean? Like, why? Like, Jaron is my age, 45, 44, something like that. He's been in the flat earth for 10 years. So that means before that, he was nothing but the globe. So you mean for 1/4 of your life, you're so sure that the fucking government can't do these things. You're so fucking positive that you're going to make these assertions that they just can't do that. How the hell do you know what they can and can't fucking possibly do? What they can and what they're not capable of? This is where that arrogance is just going to fuck us over. To just swear you know something and you're so positive in yourself that it's like, chill out, man. Chill out. Calm down. Remember, you have a big audience listening to your every word. So you can't sit there and die on this hill that is not an artificial sun, because you've got people out there, and I'm going to shout them out. Flatworks. I don't know if you've watched his channel, but he's done some pretty good stuff, right? He's got a smaller channel, but it's growing rather fast. And Flatworks has been showing what appears to be some sort of an artificial sun. You know what I'm saying? And he's done some serious yeoman work in displaying this thing. And now, look, they've taken pictures of this thing from some distance, and it shows. And now I don't know if this picture is real or not, because man, everything is fake these days. I don't even know. But they already have a patent for it. They already have also a patent for the TR-3B. We already know that supposedly the James Webb Space Telescope is up there. So now you could come sandwich all those things together, and you've got what could appear to be an artificial sun. They already have the patents for these things. And apparently they've been flying them for close to 50 years now, or over 50 years, excuse me, right? And so for Jaron to come out and to be so positive and to state, we're stupid because this is what we believe. No, it's not necessarily what we fully believe, but there's a possibility that they're going to trick you. Already, Saab, you've just mentioned that they're going to hold these motherfuckers up in one area. Who's to say that they're not going to put some haze up? They're not going to haze up the sky with that chemtrail nonsense, and then they're going to bring this sun out, or something that appears to be a sun and just let it float there and move at 15 degrees an hour or whatever it does, and just bobble and be like, hey, there goes your artificial sun. Like nobody knows. Nobody knows. I've never been down there. I don't understand the layout of that place, so I can't possibly say yay or nay to that. But the
Occam's razor dictates that basically, given the preponderance of evidence that the Earth is not a globe, okay, if for some reason an observed 24-hour sun, which is still, as I want to keep pointing out, for the last 125 years, has still not been proven, or we wouldn't be having this final observation experiment thing, okay? Regardless of what is seen down there, is not going to suddenly make all the impossibilities of a globe possible. What Occam's razor dictates is that there is some kind of an anomaly, a visual anomaly that we're not taking into account, that we need to investigate further.
Yes.
That's what it's going to show if they see such a thing. My prediction, nobody's going to see shit. This is going to be just like Geraldo's vault. I'm telling you.
This is, yeah.
If it happens,
if it happens, we've got a few months.
We've wasted so much time on this stuff. Oh my God, it's like.
Yeah. But
well,
I don't
think just be off to the next thing.
Nobody's going to tell the future. Nobody's going to tell the future. I'm just looking at past, and I'm looking at what is, and I'm looking at 125 years of people being in Antarctica, and this still being a point of contention. Then I'm also looking back to that time. When was that? What was that guy? Greater Sapien. Greater Sapien was supposed to get on some kind of a flight they were going to have that was going to. This is like back in 2016, 17, somewhere in there. And they got all this money put into it and everything. And then come to find out it never took place. And this guy had all his audience crowdsource the money to do it. And he gave in for it. And then they didn't get the permits and couldn't go. And well, shit out of luck. So and there was a big deal made about that as well. Wait till after this polar flight. Then you're going to see.
You'll see.
And of course, it never happened.
Yeah.
And somebody made out. Somebody made money. Somebody fucking made money. I can tell you that.
And we're coming from a place. Every flat earther is coming from a place of sincerity and honesty. Show me the shit that you keep claiming. Show me this revolution. Show me this turn. Show me this curving water, which they can't demonstrate the small stuff. How are they going to show us the big fucking stuff?
Mm-hmm.
This is what throws me off with these guys. And then it's like, yo, we can't fucking like Will. He's like, well, you don't have. This is the best you've got. I'm like, no, the best we've got is that it's flat and it's not curving like you fucking claim. That's the best. Like, fuck the map. All that other shit ain't happening.
No,
right? A map is a possibility demonstration as best that they could come up with, right? But
it's an artistic representation.
Yes, and like you said, we don't live on a map. We don't live on a map. We don't.
It's a projection.
Because here's the thing: you've got Japan that just found 7,000 more islands. Are any one of those represented on these maps?
Nope.
No. You look at that vast area of the South Pacific. It'd be entirely possible to hide an entire continent there.
A lot. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, like I said, Japan found 7,000 islands. Are any one of those motherfuckers represented on these maps?
Nope.
Yeah, exactly.
And what happened to stuff that used to be on the maps? You go back to the Mercator map of the North Pole, and there's where those land masses go. Where did what's the name of that place? Friesland. Yeah, Friesland. Where did Friesland go to? This is actually blowed up in a detail. A landmass that was supposedly there by Iceland. It's gone now. Doesn't represent it on any maps.
How you spell that?
Frie. Let me see. Let me get over here. Ow. Shit. Okay. Yeah. On here, it's FRISLANT. Let me see what it says on here because I think I
Please,
remember it displayed. Yeah, FRISLAND.
Fry
Friesland.
slant.
Yeah.
Fry slant. Okay, I got it.
And it used to set like southeast or southwest of let me see, what am I looking at here? Iceland. Yeah, Iceland. And below Greenland. And
Okay.
there's a rather large place. There's actually cities listed on it. A place called Orhar, I think. That's what it says. Sunsisdal. You got little pictures of cities on there too, man.
Okay. I want to scope that out. Fry's land. I never even heard of that place. But no, that's a really good point, Saab, right? The stuff that should be on the map, like in the very center, the North Pole, which apparently it's an important place, right? That's not that doesn't appear on none of them places. That doesn't appear on none of them maps. Don't appear on this freaking globe, right? Where's it at? Right there behind me. It don't appear in none of these places. So here we got a question for state-sponsored flat Earth. So JP believes that Agenda 25, right? And correct me if I'm wrong, JP. I'm bringing up your question, like that I guess he wants to know if we believe that flat Earth is a state-sponsored agenda, or if it's coming from a place. You know what I'm saying? If we're being driven, I don't believe that at all. But
sure, that's like the newest thing right now that a lot of people are bringing up. All this is all CIA. But I think Witzit's kind of brought it up too, and maybe it's just a way to kind of pre-program people because they know they're about to lose their entire globe anyway, so they're just going to pre-program people to be ready for it. You know what I mean? So it was all a deception in the first place, and okay, well, the CIA is the one to put it out. I don't know. I mean, the synthesis, right? Thesis, antithesis, synthesis. How are they going to make this work? I don't know. There's got to be some kind of contingency plan that we don't know about, but
yeah, and I guess he brings up a valid point. What will you do when a fascist state agrees with you? Now what? It's like, then what? What if the earth is flat? Then what, bitch? Type question. And so to me, it's like, oh, now it's a ball. That's a good question. My thing is, what do? My thing is, people need to be rebuked. You have to rebuke them.
Yeah.
Like, and that's the thing is, this is why the true earth is so important. And it always circles back to the Most High. It always circles back to the scriptures. We have power in our words. We have power with our intention, and we have power with prayer. So rebuking an idea or rebuking things feel are evil, that's a real thing. Don't think you don't have these powers to make things go away by rebuking them. So you have to rebuke of the Most High in the name of. Oh, there we go. How about now? I'm here. Lord have mercy. So you have to rebuke and read the scriptures. Don't be afraid to read those scriptures when it comes to using your powers, because you may think, oh, I need this one, I need that one. If you believe in the Most High, that should be enough. The belief in him and knowing that he's real and knowing that he's granted us these powers to be better selves, our versions of our better selves. You use those powers, and you use those powers against the forces of evil, and you rebuke it. And you rebuke it right to its face, and you see what happens. Well, apparently a woman just got shot in the face for rebuking a cop. She just got shot in the face yesterday, or a couple of days ago it was. But you see what happens. You use your powers. Don't be ashamed or don't be afraid. This is what they want you to believe, that you don't have power. And these are lies. You have power. You have power. And the spoken tongue, the word, it's true. No, JP. No, not not too many people realize it. We may think we know, but we don't realize it. Because if we knew, we'd actually practice these things. If you knew the power of the tongue, you would practice it. And you rebuke these things. Don't be afraid. Be like, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus, in the name of the Most High. And then I will not allow your curses to ruin my aura, whatever you want to say. Put intent on it. Your intent is powerful. Your words are powerful. Use them and rebuke this evil state. You rebuke it all. And you have to focus that energy. Don't be afraid, because I'm sure there's people that curse us every day. There's people in the deep state that curse us every day, and they get their way all the time. You need to start using their own powers and our powers against them. That's a need land. I'm land my plane right there, man. I'm getting upset right now.
You can't let it get you like that. Okay, the light shines. This is why I always say, truth does not need defense. It does not. Truth will shine through and be evident. Every lie ends up being dispelled. They will. Yeah. Okay, you can only keep things hidden for so long. And the more entangled your lie becomes, the more complicated it becomes. That's where you start finding the loopholes. Okay. And this is why they have to give this belief system to you at a very, very young age and make you feel very, very proud and very, very smart for regurgitating the bullshit that they tell you.
Yep.
You tell them the planets in their order and maybe make a little styrofoam model of the solar system, or maybe
good job, Timmy.
A demonstration on how rockets are supposed to work and shit. And they tell you how fucking smart you are and how you're probably going to be an astronaut or a scientist when you get older, all this other kudos and shit, right? So what happens is when people get older and they don't really know this shit, they just believe it.
Don Pratt.
And when something comes along that dispels it on a deep level, it's like they feel threatened because now you're taking away their smart. Well, just being told something and memorizing it is not smart. Yeah. Okay, a parrot can do that.
Yep. And you want to know something? It's that ego, man. That ego just brings us down to the base and turns us just. It's I don't know why it is. I don't know what it is, but that ego, we just a lot of us let that ego just take over us like it's a dirty devil. And
well,
then even
too.
Yeah, and it's crazy. Like even Pastor Will, like when he started saying, "Well, it does say the firmament, but I believe that." I'm like, no, that's where you're wrong, brother. Like you need to like that whole I believe. That's cool that you believe that, but read what it says. Read what it says. It says it right there. That's what he said the firmament is, but I think it's the earth. So it's like you're picking and choosing again. We're going back to those same bad habits that got us here in the first place to believe in the fucking globe. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like I'm not trying to make Pastor Will believe something that we believe or that I believe or anything like that. I just want Pastor Will, if he's a pastor and he wants to be an effective pastor, right? Don't take that bullshit. And I believe no. What does the scripture say? You know, I used to be a youth minister, right, for a Catholic church, and every day, and you know, I was born Roman Catholic, so I would go every Sunday and I would talk to these kids, and you know, you had the priest in there, and you had another youth minister that was my senior, explaining to these kids why we needed to do things according to what the Vatican says, and then I'm looking around. I'm like, the same Vatican that's got all these cases out here. And at the time, it was Pope, what's his name? The German guy, right?
Paul II.
Yeah. He was the Pope.
Ratzinger,
Ratzinger. I was like, so you got all these things about these popes raping kids, doing all this pedophile stuff for ages, right? This isn't as if this is a new thing. This is an ongoing issue with the Catholic Church, plus all the other scandals that the Catholic Church is involved in. And you want these kids to follow that and to use that as an example? And so it was constant infighting, right? And we would I'd ask these real questions in front of these kids. And then they'd say, Vlad, what's your final word? And then I'd be like, kids, listen, men are fucked up. women, people are fucked up. We are designed, we're designed to flaw, and we're broken. I said, you go in those scriptures. Don't listen to what no Vatican say, this, that, the third.
You froze again, man.
Frozen. We should start playing that song from Frozen when he gets frozen.
Sovereign's making me hungry over here, man. I'm like, I gotta go.
I've been smoking that herb, man. I had that munchified thing, man, and I was like, man, I want a peanut butter and strawberry jam sandwich, man. That's what I'm after.
Sounds good.
Mission accomplished.
All right, you back yet? I saw a picture move.
There we go. Man, my bad. Yeah. Needless to say, they didn't keep me there long. I wasn't kept there long. I didn't survive. I didn't last long at that place. But it is what it is, man. I mean, at the end of the day, we have people that are growing up behind us. Our kids are so important. They are the future, and they need to know what the truth is.
I'd hate all right. I want to go with that. I want to go with that.
Yeah.
Here's a type of programming that was done to all of us innocuously. Okay. Where we've come into this existence where it is a cardinal sin to be wrong about something. Where does that come from? Where does that come from? If anything, being wrong about something should be a positive experience because now you learned something, didn't you? Through trial and error, you learned something. That's a positive thing, but we don't look at it that way. And even up to and including the grading system that they give you, right? If you don't regurgitate it right back to me good enough, you get a lesser mark. You're not as good as little Betsy Sue, who's going to get a great mark, right? And if you get enough of those kinds of marks, then your parents have to come in and talk to the teacher, and you're going to get in big trouble because we got a thing called the report card, and it's going to come in the mail, and it's going to show that you're not smart. And then you're going to get in trouble, and your parents are going to ground you and say you're going to have to stick your nose in those books a lot more. You better bring those up to A's right now. And how do you get up to A's? You regurgitate the bullshit that they told you, right? Yes. And so then you're not wrong anymore. You're not wrong anymore. So what happens is we've been programmed with this idea that to be wrong about something is a cardinal sin, and it's not.
Yep.
Yeah.
So don't be afraid to go out on a limb, man.
And then you get the news channels. So CIA programming. My God.
But man, hopefully we're breaking ourselves out of this. And we need to have more discussions like this. And yeah, Will is talking about we're wasting time. I don't think this is a waste of time at all. I think this is actually constructive, and it's absolutely necessary that we have these discussions. And we bring guys like him to the table, and we have him talk. We have him talk.
You got to. Yeah, you got to, man. You got to bring these guys. And I got to give him credit for this. At least he's not a dickhead. He started to get a little pissy with me, telling me, well, why don't you just stop doing YouTube videos? Yeah, you wish.
Yeah, right.
You wish because I can't be bought. I can't be bought. That's why you don't want me talking my shit because I can't be bought. I don't do this for money. I'm not monetized. I don't sell t-shirts. I don't sell hats. I don't do none of that fucking shit. I do this because I want to speak my mind. I want to talk with like-minded individuals, and I want to dispel the deception. That's my mission. And what's my gratitude from it? Hey, I get all that gratitude back from God because I give all that to God. I'm speaking for him, man. Yep. I'm doing that. And it's like, I've declared war on all forms of tyranny against the minds of men. And as we were saying earlier, full spectrum dominance is what they want. They want to control what you think, what you see, what you hear, what you say, where you go, everything. They want full spectrum dominance over you. Yep. And the sooner you realize that, the better off you are. Nobody's doing shit like that because they're benevolent. Okay? There's something in it for them. Nobody just does this shit. I'm telling you.
Yeah, this whole talk, like he irritated me with the whole talking down to people. Well, you don't know what it's like to have money crap. That stuff.
I let him. You know what? When I heard that, I just let him talk. I was like, okay.
You talk down to people like that. That is the most annoying thing in my like.
How's he know? How's he
That's
know?
why
What
I said you
know
don't.
what it's like?
Right. I'm like, I've been retired for 2.5 years, man. I'm 42 now. Like, and what's your point? I got a couple properties and they're paid off and I rent them out and I live off of that. Like what?
Yeah.
Because I doubled and tripled my payments.
Yeah. He looked down upon us and he spoketh, saying, "Ye doesn't know what it's like to have loot in thy pockets."
He don't know.
Yeah,
he don't know what my financial status is. He doesn't know what my financial status is.
He looked down upon us and he spaketh and he's like, "Y'all's be broketh. Silence, knave."
Just because I live modestly doesn't mean I don't have money, man. Come on. Seriously.
Yeah, right, man.
All right, whatever.
Ain't got to flash it. That's for real.
Man, it is one. What we got? Usually I'll be going, like lately I've been going hard on these discussions, and we've been up till like 4 a.m. The roosters be up looking at us like, damn, with cups of coffee, like, oh, y'all were up before us. And I'm like, yeah, man.
Donkeys out screaming.
Yeah, dude. Braying and stuff. Yeah. So we've been up till 4 a.m, but I gotta drive tomorrow, so it's gonna be a short night tonight. I really.
And you froze.
And he's froze again.
And he froze.
There
we go. Yeah.
There he is.
There we go. Yeah.
Play us a song or something.
Yeah, that freeze, boy, that freezing goes on. But real talk, man. I really appreciate y'all, and I'm gonna do something. I might have to cut a couple of branches down just to get a little bit of exposure to the north, so I could get this internet is making me look wild, man. I'm more frozen than a dang ice pop out this joker, but it's all good. I really appreciate y'all coming out. Everybody in the chat, I really appreciate y'all coming out. Now, listen, Butters, do you have a channel?
Not anymore, man. I've had 3, but they all got shut down.
Oh, damn. If y'all don't know, listen, make sure you subscribe to
Sovereign
Soul, the Unchained Mind. I speak about him every flipping week. Y'all need to, and let's see, Jehovah's daughter, Barbara, you've been doing a phenomenal job making sure you drop everybody's link in this channel, right? So make sure you get with Jehovah's daughter, Barbara. She's one of our moderators in here. She's been dropping his channel like clockwork. So I've got a couple of shout outs and channels that you guys need to view. Obviously, Sovereign Soul, the Unchained Mind, Flat Works. We have No Longer on the Ball. We had John Thor. If you guys don't know, we have Flatworks. I think I said Flatworks probably twice, but that's because he's got an awesome channel.
Flatzoid was in the
and Flatzoid was definitely
yeah, he was in here just a few minutes ago. Don't forget Lucky Haskins. Lucky Haskins is my boy, man. That's my brother from another mother. He's another Michiganian. Way up there in the Keweenaw, man. It's colder than a well digger's ass in January up there, buddy. I fled to the south, man. That's what, and it's still too cold.
Still cold. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I feel you, man. But yeah, man, you've got channels. You've got some amazing channels. If you haven't checked out My Lunch Break, check him out. He's got some crazy stuff. And I think what pairs up well with the flat earth, kind of like chicken or fish with white wine, would be My Lunch Break and how it pairs up well, and his view of the flat earth and his research of the new world with what is the flat earth. It's some phenomenal stuff. So My Lunch
What's
Break.
the name again?
My Lunch Break.
Okay.
David Weiss.
I like looking at some old maps. Like one of my favorites to look at is the 1587 Urbano Monte.
Yeah, man,
that's some really crazy shit on there, man.
It does. The stuff that we went through and we found a few weeks ago. You got to check out these guys. I'm telling you,
Did you find the Virago? Did you find the Virago?
Virago.
Yeah, which is a whirlpool.
Yes, we found a whirlpool. Yes.
Up there by Norway. Did you also notice that the 0 point at north is a capital G and not a 0? I thought that was interesting too.
Let me show you guys something. Let me show you guys something. So first off, right, we got this right here. Let me show you real quick, and then you'll get to see it for yourself. Boom, right here. I know I always talk about it, but you see this? This is Gerardus Mercator, and I got this from the Library of Congress, right? I went and I visited the Library of Congress a few weeks ago, and look at this. Remember what you saw? Remember what you showed me the other day on the Mercator map? What is this? It's a compass, right? What was in the middle of that map, the Urbano Monte map that you showed me, Saab?
A G.
It was a
giant G.
What is this?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's the Freemason.
That is a Freemason symbol. But another thing that we found out, America, according to the proper map, isn't on this side. Asia's supposed to be on this side. The Polus Magnetis, right, which is that second north, or that second pole, or that mountain that's supposed to split the Bering Sea, or what they call the Anian Sea, or the Anian Sea, or right here, the Anian Strait.
It's mirrored.
Right. It can't be, because look at where the pole is. Look at where this is. It's
neighbor. It's pretty wild. And he's gone.
I'm looking at I'm looking at that in comparison to the Mercator that I have over here.
Yeah. So you see where the pole is, right? In respect to everything else. All right, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna stop sharing that, and then I'm gonna get out of that, and I'm gonna show y'all what it is I'm talking about right here. Okay, where's that other one? So we saw that one. Boom. Let's get down. And
you guys hit Flat Earth Fridays at all on X?
no, I don't have
yeah,
I signed up just for it. I've never talked on it, but I enjoy listening when I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
It's usually going
I
on
don't
for
have
a minute.
Yeah, I don't have X. We do Flat Earth Fridays on the Ghost of Judah Tribes channel. Now, see this right here?
Yeah.
Now, what I did was, these guys pointed out to me that it turns this area right here into a 6.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
right? Now,
true.
right here is the Polus Magnetis. Remember how he had the end of that compass sitting on this mountain?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, let me rotate it real quick.
Magnetis. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. And then in his left hand was the United States, or was America. So let me rotate it one more time so you guys could see it. There it is. There it is. Polus Magnetis. Right there. Right here is supposed to be the Bering Strait, but at one time it was called El Stretto de Anian, the Anian Strait, which is now the Bering Strait. Right there. Polus Magnetis. This is the Rupus Negra. Right there. This is the...
And he's gone.
And he's gone again. And he's gone.
I was just getting interested, man. Then he's gone. Yeah.
It gets crazy. That's what I'm saying. It just gets crazier and crazier.
Yeah, this whole thing, it's obvious that there is a consistent effort to obfuscate and misdirect where we live. I mean, really, if you think about it, we are given a collective amnesia. If a person who's suffering amnesia, the first 3 things they ask, they're like, who am I? Where am I? What day is it? Right? Well, we've been lied to about where we are, about who we are, and about when we are.
when we are.
Yes.
There's no standard. There is no standard that we can base this off of. We're just given one. And we've been wrong. And we don't, and I think it's so important because we don't understand the ramifications of not knowing these things. How it involves with our life expectancy, how it involves with healing ourselves and our loved ones, how it involves with thinking cleaner and clearer, avoiding certain foods, right? We don't even know these things because we don't know the basics that Saab just mentioned. We don't even know. We don't even know.
We have to go by what we've been told.
Yep. Well, family, man, it's been awesome tonight. It has been amazing.
Likewise.
It has been amazing. And thanks for at the last second coming in, Butters, man. I really appreciate that, man. You guys were indispensable.
Hey guys, thanks.
You guys were indispensable. And I knew that bringing you guys in would have been a good thing. So I'm glad that I did that. I'm very happy that you guys are here. And
very thankful, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
We gave Will something to chew on. And I think it's important. And hopefully the Jaren channel and all these guys got something out of it. Hopefully they did, and they don't sit there talking shit about people, and they try to freaking bring these motherfuckers to the table and try to repair what's been breaking. I'd like to see these guys repair it because division is the last thing that we need.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying, regardless, everybody's got their own decisions to make as far as that's concerned and everything. And I think a big mistake people do make is they figure, oh, because you collaborate with so-and-so, that means you're joined at the hip. It doesn't, man. I collaborate with people of like-minded ideas and also people that I get along with that, not necessarily believes the exact same thing as I do or not. It doesn't mean that I'm joined at the hip with them. I'm still a one-man band, you see. It's not Sovereign Soul, Unchained Mind, and Friends. It's right. Although I do entertain a lot of people to come up on my panel at any time, as we saw tonight with our friend that came up. Wow. What was her name again?
Oh, Noelle.
Noelle, yeah. Noelle.
That was it, yeah.
Wow. And then I fucking left because I'm sitting here smoking.
Excuse me.
I left, and all I did was leave the studio. I didn't end the stream, so it was just her for like 5 minutes. So the end of that whole thing is just her, which is probably funny as shit. I should go back and watch and see what she's like. Where'd everybody go?
She was like, "Can you send me a link too?" You're like, "No."
No. And I was worried when I sent it in the private chat. I was like, God, I hope she's not bright enough to know it's in the private chat.
Yeah, I didn't know whether or not. I was like, ooh, I don't know.
I was like, oh,
yeah,
shit,
I appreciate you guys having me on too. I mean, like, I just met you, Sovereign, right? Yesterday. I mean, I came on Flats yesterday, and I was like, I'm just gonna start talking on some of these. Why not?
Yeah, man.
It's just the heck of it. So
they're good discussion. It gets a lot of education out to the folks, and it's necessary. We're not wasting time. We're definitely not. This isn't some BS talk about baseball cards or some nonsense like that. We're talking about shit that should have been talked about ages ago, and we need to bring this news to the forefront.
It's time.
Yes,
it
is.
Time. It's time to go forward. Yeah, that's kind of the way I'm looking at it. I'm like, should I just keep sitting on the sidelines? And I have comments and things, and you put comments in the chat, and I feel like you're being a pussy, man. You wouldn't even go on the show. What the hell? Like, wait, why not even just show your face? I really don't care, right?
Yeah.
Like,
well, and I'll tell you some of the psychology with these guys, right? Some of the psychology that's there, like the last couple of times on Flatzoid, I'm sure you're aware of what had happened. He had to make it so that he can't put the link out there anymore because
these idiots and all that crap,
who can't refute what he says, and they get all triggered because he subscribes to biblical cosmology, which really seems to really trigger these people. Any mention of God or anything like that really throws them through the hissy fit. And so they were porn bombing. And I'm like, well, if that's all you've got is to try to get somebody shut down or to be a perverted weirdo and shit, then what do you really have to stand on? Nothing. So you just show your hand by doing that. I see FTFE gets on there and gloats about he got somebody banned off of X, and I'm like, if all you can, if you have to shut people up, then it means you're worried about what they might say.
Yes.
Which in turn makes you a coward. It makes you a coward. Yeah. If mere words affect you that harshly, you need therapy, not censorship.
It's like calling the cops for not wearing a mask. It's just
God.
Idiocracy. It's retarded.
Yeah. And you want to know something? They lose credit. And my thing is when they need to lose credibility, when they do things like that, you know what? You're working for those people that we're talking about. You're working for those people. They don't even have to pay you when you're working for them. That's how shitty and low down you are. So we need to call them out, rebuke them, and we need to put them out on Jump Street. And it's like, yo, this is the truth. This dude's working for these motherfuckers right here. He ain't no better than the rest of those assholes that we have issues with. So we need to put him out on Jump Street, and we need to like walk away from him. And we need to, like I said, rebuke him and all that nonsense he's about. If they want to come to what the true earth is, it's like I tell them, I'm like, y'all showing up to the party late because you showed your hand. You showed what you're really all about. We don't need that kind of energy here. If you think deceiving people is a way to get the truth out there, that's no. We don't need you here. We don't want you here. You stay over there.
No. Just to cause confusion and anger. And it's like Brenda showing up tonight, right, Dave?
Yeah.
The whole nonsense of that whole thing. It's just like, why even? I would have never let him in. Brenda.
Oh, wait. No. Brenda? You talking about the girl guy, Brenda?
Yeah.
It don't make you see when I hear
over on Not Chiquita's stream.
See, when I see Brenda or Brandon, I think it was, or Brand, and when I see her, it's like I'm like, listen, how are you gonna debate with us? How are you gonna call us confused? Like,
I mean, that's like oxymoron. Just
how do you call us confused? Like you are a living representation. You are walking, talking. What's the thing? Yes, you're walking, talking confusion. That's you.
Yeah.
How you gonna come at us about being confused? That don't, like, I saw her arguing with Jaren, and Jaren was quiet because I was like, Jaren didn't know what to say. Jaren was like, what? He was quiet, and it's like, yeah. You're just a walking oxymoron, I guess it is, or something like that. You just don't make any sense. But if you call lies like this out, that's a walking lie. If you call these lies out, then they're going to bust you. There's something wrong with this place, and it ain't us.
Right. Yeah. Shit ain't adding up, man.
Well, family, that is truly my time. Hopefully, I could get this off without this freezing no more. But I really appreciate y'all. And everybody in the chat, make sure you sub to Sovereign Soul, the Unchained Mind. Okay. And I know, Saab, you're probably going to do a production later on this week or possibly even tomorrow, huh?
Oh, yeah. I'm also going to be on the Josh Monday show. I don't have a link for that yet. As soon as I get it, I will put it in a community post Friday, and that's going to be like early in the morning. I have to get up and be ready at like 8 o'clock in the morning. So that's going to be a weird experience.
I'd like to see that on my drive. But there it is, family. There you have it. And Buttered Biscuits, I appreciate you as well for joining us for this crazy, crazy discussion. But family, that right there is our time. Gentlemen, do you have any last words?
Keep it real. Stick to what you can prove. Demonstrable, repeatable, science, and agrees with science. Then you can bank on it. But anything that revolves around having to entertain physical impossibilities and violations of natural law, you better start questioning it.
Yeah, study for yourself. Keep studying. Keep listening to like-minded. I mean, even non-like-minded people. Listen to both sides. Make up your own decision. Be real, and don't just go to the cogdis and deny everything, but actually think about it first. Open your mind up, think about it, and let yourself determine, not what other people are going to say and how you're going to lose all your family and friends and everything else, because that will happen. But just go with the punches and just keep getting back up. It's not a real nice friendly land out there, but there are friendly people out there. So yeah, butter your biscuits, Roger. That's right. And butter let them get buttered. All right. That's it, guys. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
We appreciate y'all, family. All right. And to my awesome chat group, you guys are amazing. You guys are the best. You guys are like my backbone over here, and y'all held it down quite well tonight. And
he froze again. No.
No.
Already.
No.
Oh, there we go. And if you hadn't, definitely like, definitely share. And if you hadn't subbed, please make sure to sub. But we're going to do this again. This was amazing. But that's it for tonight, y'all. I wish y'all nothing but the best. Health, wealth, love, joy, prosperity, most of all, wisdom. And with that, I love you. I'm out. Y'all have a good night. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.